Well. Welcome in. Welcome to Skap Live here in the afternoon. Welcome to the lounge, ladies and gentlemen. The waters are warm. I felt compelled to hop on and join all of you with another little live. It's been a while. So welcome in. Good to see all of you again. Thanks for being here. I don't know, it's been about a week, but there's just more things to talk about. Specifically more steroid allegations swirling around the king of longevity, LeBron James. And in case any of you missed it, I will be doing a pretty long and protracted video on this topic, hopefully set to come out, I don't know, maybe sometime on the weekend, Saturday or Sunday. I'm going to need like a couple extra days than usual. This is going to be a pretty long one, I think. I will have Teague's full comments, which you can hear in that video. I will not play it in this live, unfortunately. So hopefully you guys have seen what I'm talking about. If you have not, you can do a cursory. It's actually not that hard. It's not that hard. It's not that easy to find, though. Again, as with the comments that Jeff Teague made about Kobe Bryant recently, his comments were not done in an actual video, and he did not extract his comments about LeBron James into a standalone video and post that. You have to go into the live. He did a 1 hour and 15-minute live video. I think it was yesterday or the day before, an hour and 15 minutes. And within the middle of that, I think it was like at the 21-minute mark, he just inexplicably starts talking about LeBron James and using steroids. And it was a pretty specific kind of comment that he made, and he went into it in detail, actually. Now, of course, Jeff Teague, the coward that he is, he of course belittled and diminished Kobe, as I mentioned about a week or two ago. He basically said Kobe was an overrated defender, that he was kind of a subpar defender throughout the second stage of his career. And there was no backtracking on that. But Jeff Teague instantly backtracked on this. Like, he came out with the comments, and then within, about 15 or 16 hours, Jeff Teague, the coward, was backtracking. And that I do have, because he didn't make any comments. He just posted something, to his IG feed or something. Whatever people do these days on social media. I don't think it was a post on X. I think it might have been to his IG. Anyway, this is what he put up about 15 or 16 hours after he made the commentary about LeBron being on PEDs. Quote, "Y'all weird. I was joking about Bron. He was just that dominate. Chill." So obviously there's a lot wrong with this statement. First of all, it's like 3 sentences with no punctuation at all. There's no commas, periods, nothing. Obviously, the incorrect tense usage there of he meant dominant, not dominate. But my favorite thing though about it is how he's inferring that we have done something wrong here. He's inferring that like we have taken him completely out of context, that we're digging way too far into this. Again, I will have the totality, if he doesn't rip the video down before then, I'll have the totality of his commentary in a video probably coming out on Saturday or Sunday. And in lieu of that, though, I will read you specifically. He initially said they were talking about which LeBron James is the best LeBron James. They were debating between his second stint in Cleveland versus Miami. And Jeff Teague said, "Yo, LeBron James, Miami LeBron James, he was on steroids." No, for real. He was on steroids, allegedly. And then the allegedly was the joke. And they actually stopped talking about it, the conversation, that is, the debate between the two LeBrons. And Jeff Teague doubled down on it. He said, quote, "Miami Heat Bron, he was on steroids, bro. They started testing for HGH, and he had to sit out. He said his back was hurting, and he sat out like 3 weeks, then came back skinny." That is the detail that Teague went into. Now, his timeline is off because they weren't testing for HGH during his stint in Miami. They didn't start doing that, I believe, till 2 years after he left Miami. But those are some pretty specific allegations from Teague. And really, again, as with what we saw, if you guys remember, Kevin Garnett came out and also made some pretty matter-of-fact steroid conversation or commentary about LeBron James about a year ago now at this point. He was on his whatever him and Paul Pierce are doing with their platform, and they were debating if Bronny James could score on if Bronny James could score on LeBron at this point. And Kevin Garnett was like, no, LeBron's on that new juice. Just as a matter of fact statement, like some Balco comparisons that he then drew to LeBron. So the thing that's so alarming to me, though, in looking at these former players that played in the same time frame as LeBron James, is that they just come out so matter-of-factly, essentially like, oh, well, everybody knows. Everybody knew that, right? Like LeBron's on steroids, right? Anyone that played in the NBA at the time knows that he was, right? And actually, I do have Gary here, moderator Gary. So I just wanted to just say welcome to moderator Gary.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for being here, Gary. But I also wanted to talk about the timeline. Gary, do you remember the Biogenesis scandal by any chance?
Very vaguely. I don't remember a lot of details. I remember hearing of it. You're talking about when he was over in Miami, right?
Yeah, well, just to freshen up everyone's memory, Biogenesis was one of the biggest PED sports-related scandals of all time. I would say probably Balco and Biogenesis are the two most well-known, most famous ones. Biogenesis took down hundreds of baseball players. I think there were over 100 baseball players that were implicated in, I believe it was 2013, that the Biogenesis scandal erupted. Alex Rodriguez, that was the one that got him. So if you guys remember, A-Rod, whenever he was out for steroid use, it was Biogenesis that got him. And there was obviously a long, protracted governmental investigation into Biogenesis. And like maybe 3-ish years ago, several documents were unredacted. And we saw some very suspicious names that were included on those unredacted federal documents implicating Ernest Mims, longtime LeBron James confidant and inner circle dweller. Basically, Ernest Mims goes back with LeBron as far as his boy. I'm drawing a complete blank now.
Maverick, Rich Paul.
Yes, Rich Paul. So Rich Paul, Maverick Carter, and Ernest Mims were the original inner circle for LeBron James. Essentially, they've been with LeBron James since like right high school age, right when he was coming out of high school into the NBA. So Ernest Mims goes back very, 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 very far back into LeBron James's life, friendship, and it just as just a confidant and inner circle member. His name was on the list. His name was implicated as a client of Biogenesis, as was David Alexander, who at the time LeBron James was playing with the Miami Heat. David Alexander was LeBron James' personal trainer at that time, and he was LeBron James's wife Savannah's also her personal trainer. Both of those people were implicated as clients. Now, you might be able to excuse away David Alexander. Well, he's a professional trainer. He works with many other clients, many other professional athletes. But Ernest Mims, if you look at this guy, go and Google search Ernest Mims right now. This guy's physique is not that of someone who works out regularly or really has ever stepped inside of a gym. So the fact that his name was on it, in addition to LeBron James's personal trainer, is very suspicious. There was also unsubstantiated reports from one source that worked within the Biogenesis offices that there was another client name that was never specified, but just with the initials LJ. So whatever. You can take all of those things at face value for what you will. That stuff has been known, though, for years. Those documents had been unredacted. So I don't know why really any of this is coming as a surprise to anybody. You can start connecting the dots. Gary, do you remember who won the 2011 NBA MVP by any chance? I know I'm putting you on the spot. It was the guy that won the one in between LeBron's 4.
Okay, 2011. I know that's the year the Mavericks won it. I don't think Dirk was MVP, even though he was a candidate, I'm sure. I don't remember off the top of my head. I probably could if I had a couple minutes to think about it, but I'm not sure. But how's this play into what you're saying?
Yeah, shout out to MFL Gaming 8682 in the live chat who got the answer immediately. Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose.
And Quentin Daniels. So basically, at that time frame, we had LeBron win back-to-back league MVPs with Cleveland, head to Miami. Derrick Rose won the MVP in 2011. LeBron won 2 more league MVPs right after Derrick Rose.
Right.
Now, back when ESPN was actually still reporting sports, like back before they were a personal LeBron James mouthpiece and LeBron's own personal media venture group, ESPN, the magazine, did a report on that year's league MVP, Derrick Rose, and they asked him a question about PEDs. And the exact question was, how big of an issue are PEDs in your sport? 1 being, what is a PED? And 10 being, everybody is juicing. Derrick Rose's answer was, and I quote, 7, it's huge. I really think we need to make some significant changes to even the playing field. So this, again, connecting all of the dots that are circling around LeBron James. In addition to, I didn't even get into, I'll get into all of this more on the video, but I just wanted to get in here and talk some shit and spread my legs out and kind of make this be the precursor to the video that I'm going to drop. There was another point where I believe it was, again, I will check all of this and it will be confirmed in the video. When he left Miami and went back to Cleveland, LeBron was looking a little washed, Gary. I think it was actually in his first year that he made the return. His explosion looked a little off. He had lost a good amount of weight. And people just thought that maybe LeBron, that Father Time was nestling in at LeBron's door. And the Cavs, coincidentally, were slumping in the standings at the time. I believe at the time they were 6th in the standings. LeBron decided all of a sudden he was just going to take this mysterious 2-week leave of absence in December and go catch some R&R. He went to Miami to get this R&R and to get this little respite. He comes back mysteriously, looks way better. He starts, I believe his points per game shot up like 7 or 8 points per game from the 2 weeks before he went to Miami for the remainder of the season. The Cavs went from 6th to 1st or 2nd in the standings, and they went back to the NBA Finals that year. Just more suspicious timing and more suspicious things that are connecting LeBron James to PEDs. And then we have all the cavalcade of people, not just Jeff Teague most recently, not just Kevin Garnett, but again, Chael Sonnen famously for years Chael Sonnen is a former mixed martial arts fighter and a self-professed doper in his own right. He is an admitted steroid user. And he went on the record with some very specific claims targeted at LeBron James years ago that he and LeBron had the same drug guy. He also specifically named that LeBron was on EPOs. I mean, these were very targeted and specific allegations at LeBron years and years back. And yet, with all of these people officially coming out on the record and accusing LeBron James of using performance enhancers, LeBron James has answered any of these allegations exactly never. This guy, this narcissist who is absolutely obsessed with controlling the conversation about everything and who has his own very successful podcast, Mind the Game, which has, I don't know, probably 1 million subscribers at this point. And, it's multicast or whatever. It's streamed on YouTube as well. This guy reaches an enormous audience. He has how many ever? I'm not really on Instagram, so I don't know. I would guess he has several million Instagram followers. So with all of the individual people out there, content creators like myself, putting out, I've done 3 videos on LeBron James's alleged performance enhancing usage. And there will be another video coming sometime this weekend on it. And in addition to all of the other independent, content creators that have been putting out, similar type work to me, or very public people with very large followings like Chael Sonnen, Kevin Garnett, and now Jeff Teague. LeBron James has never, ever felt compelled in any way, shape, or form to come out and respond in any way. To come out and, demand a retraction, promise litigation, maybe just deny it. Maybe just the denial would be best. Who knows? He has never, this guy who literally talks about everything, who insinuates himself into every aspect of anything that we're talking about, things that aren't even about him. He is obsessed with getting himself into the conversation in some way, shape, or form, like any full-blooded narcissist like he would. This, though, the one thing that would derail his entire legacy, that would topple his entire legacy, this is the one thing that he remains utterly silent on for 10 years now. People have been making these allegations, and for 10 years, nada. No cease and desist or whatever from his legal team. Nothing. No tweet like, oh, this is all BS, I'm clean. Nothing. Not even a whisper from the king narcissist LeBron James. It's suspicious to me. Gary, I know you've been kind of talking about the LeBron James protection now that he has been afforded by obviously massive sports media outlets and massive personalities. You think that there might be a time where that's all coming to an end, basically because of Michael Jordan's reintroduction into the basketball world. So, I don't know. Do you think that potentially, and we have a couple super chats we can get into, but I just want to hear from you here. Do you think that potentially within the next, couple months, that maybe there might be some credible, factual allegations that we can pin to LeBron James? Maybe the NBA itself might be protecting this guy, and perhaps they might be willing to drop this shroud now and show LeBron for what he actually is. What do you think?
Even the fact that the Lakers seem to be, even though we know Father Time's caught up, he's older, they're planning for the future, but even though it appears LA has disrespected LeBron, is a shell shock to LeBron because his butt has been being kissed constantly since he was a rookie in 2003. As we saw, he got the edge for Rookie of the Year to Carmelo Anthony, and it's been the same trajectory his entire career. Now, suddenly, LA's not even interested in giving him an extension or anything. It's all sour for him. This is new for him. This is what I started saying a few months ago, was that this is the beginning of the end for LeBron. Since Michael Jordan is coming back, it's not that Michael Jordan's coming back in itself. It's that that's one sign. And now we're seeing the steroids allegations. Those are going to become more and more prevalent. I don't think they're going to totally throw him under the bus this year, but it could be next year. It could be slightly after he retires. I am telling you, within 5 years from now, LeBron James is going to be the butt of a ton of jokes. He's going to be an absolute clown. I am telling you, they're going to crap all over him once they're done with him. And that is the beginning of the end. It's coming up now. It's starting this season. It's going to be gradual, but if you know what to look for, you can recognize the signs.
Well, let's go ahead and extrapolate on this now, if we shall, because 4 years, the first time LeBron James presented himself as the GOAT was following the 2016 NBA Finals when they came back and when the Cavaliers came back and beat the 73-9 Golden State Warriors, came back from a 3-1 deficit. Of course, we saw those players that I'm talking about right now, the Ernest Mims, the Maverick Carter, and Rich Paul, where they were in this shoot with him, this whatever video that was being shot, sitting on this couch where LeBron proclaimed, that one right there made me the greatest player of all time.
Right.
So it's been 9 years now since he first started presenting himself as the greatest player of all time. I and many think that he has virtually no case whatsoever to that claim. I have gone out of my way to produce a plethora, a myriad, if you will, of content as to why I reject that premise. However, the one thing that all of these LeBron James bootlickers and jock sniffers, these sycophants, hang their caps on is this longevity, statistical achievements that he has produced by basically just playing in the NBA for a long time. The fact that he is the all-time scoring leader, he's probably going to finish, I don't know, probably second in assists. And there's just a bunch of other, hand-counting stats and things that LeBron James has accumulated, by the way, in addition to most missed shots and most turnovers ever. But I digress. Most of these things he has, the only cases he has over Jordan are the fact that he does have many more points, many more assists, many more rebounds, because he hasn't been able to pass Michael Jordan in anything else. Jordan has more titles, more league MVPs, more finals MVPs, more all defensive selections, more defensive player of the years. He was better. He's a better advanced rated player. Jordan has higher career PER, BPM. He's higher in all of those things in the postseason than LeBron James. LeBron has never been able to sniff Michael Jordan. I don't think he's ever even been able to sniff Kobe Bryant and several others, but certainly not Michael Jordan. The one and only thing that LeBron and his band of merry stooges can bring up and present to us as to why this guy is the GOAT is because, oh, well, look at LeBron. Look at how many points he has. Look at, LeBron. He's 40 years old and he's averaging like 26, 7, and 7. Oh my God. No one's ever played at this level at this stage. Literally, that is all that these people can bring up. It's all they have. It's absolutely ridiculous. And if there are credible things brought up ever about anything credible connecting LeBron James, though the timelines that I've just discussed, including those unredacted federal documents that have Ernest Mims and LeBron James's personal trainer as clients of Biogenesis, that seems pretty finite and definitive to me. But if someone is ever willing to do the real work, if someone's ever willing to dig in, if like ESPN ever wants to actually get involved and throw the full weight of their journalistic team or whatever journalisms they have left over there at ESPN. They don't have many journalists left, I should say. But hell, maybe if the federal government of the United States, remember that the federal government of the United States got in on Barry Bonds. That's ultimately what blew up his scene. So maybe, I don't know. Again, I joke about it oftentimes and say, if the government or anybody or any power brokers want to give me unlimited subpoena power and fund me to do some kind of a gloves off investigation into steroid use in the NBA and as it pertains to LeBron James, I would do it. I think that's what we need. If anything like that ever transpires, if a real journalist ever wants to dig in, I'm going to keep doing my videos, but I only have so much access that I can, look in. So much access that I can dig into on my own. So many people that I can ask questions to. So if there is ever any credible evidence connecting this guy, I'm telling you, his entire legacy is going to crumble like a house of cards with a hard wind blowing through. Like it's just all going to collapse around him because it's all he has. So I mean, this is literal like DEFCON, whatever. Whatever the bad DEFCON level is, Gary. I know there's like 5 levels. I don't know if DEFCON 1 or 5 is the worst level, but LeBron James is at DEFCON level. Whatever's bad, he's at DEFCON. Holy shit! And I think that he should be trying to spin this a little more than he has been, which is to say, right, he hasn't been doing anything ever. He has never ever addressed it. I do. Oh, Gary, real quick. Sorry. We've got some super chats lining up, but first, I've just got word that Dreamers Pro is in the chat. So I just wanted to give my main man, Charles, a shout out here. Gary, go ahead and read Dreamers Pro's chat there.
ESPN can't do that. Their direct partner is the NBA.
So, and again, he's saying that will never happen. I just want to give Charles a shout out. He was around. He started reposting me my videos that I put up from a very, very early stage in my little YouTube journey. That was about 2 years ago now. And he, reposted several videos of mine. He is a fellow Kobe supporter, a very religious and vehement Kobe supporter like myself. So us Kobe brethren, we have to stick together. So I just wanted to give Charles, if he's still in here, just give him a shout out. Thank him for the support along the way when I was coming up. And also thank him for all that he continues to do in supporting Kobe Bryant and in also trying to, reveal or I guess expose the lie that is LeBron James, obviously. So that brought him into the chat or into the lounge, the Skap Live lounge today. So again, welcome to Dreamers Pro. But Gary, yes,
real quick, Charles, the Dreamers Pro, he's in the chat. I wanted to ask you, this is random. Sorry, Skap. Charles, are you of Jamaican descent? I'm very curious. Can you just let us know in the chat? For me, whenever I watch you, you look identical to a friend of mine whose family is from Jamaica. You look like a family member of theirs.
He says he's not. He just replied, Gary. He is saying he is not.
Well, maybe one day I can show the photos, Skap, and you'll be like, yeah, they look like they are all related. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Skap.
Yeah, but no, I'm just connecting all of the dots here. In basically what I think has been a full, I'd say, attack on LeBron James over the years in terms of the allegations that he's been facing, that he's on some kind of performance enhancers. The NBA has been very laissez-faire in terms of what they're testing for. I think they test, I want to say, a maximum of 2 times during the season. And I want to say, at least until most recently, the players were actually told within like a week of when they were going to be testing. So obviously, some of these drugs you can cycle out of. So, it's very interesting to me to see what the possible ramifications might be for LeBron James, for his legacy. I think that it would be a death knell for his legacy, not just for the GO conversations. Look what happened to Barry Bonds. Look what happened to Lance Armstrong. These guys are absolute pariahs now because of their connection to performance enhancers. It's essentially career-ending, legacy-ending, and destroying. Whenever there's any hint of impropriety that comes out. I mean, look at some of the baseball players that have been implicated. All of them have been burned. None of them are in the Hall of Fame. The NFL, obviously, there's this presumption that a lot of people are using there too. They're doing more testing, I know, than the NBA. So I don't know how much people, the general or casual fan, cares about basketball players using performance enhancers, because for whatever reason, there's this stigma to performance enhancers, steroids in particular, that it's essentially tied in some way, shape, or form to strength. Like, how strong are you? Like in the NFL, how big, how strong? In baseball, how strong, how much, how easy is it for you to muscle out these home runs? But strength and power aren't necessarily like a driving factor in basketball, or at least they're not considered to be that important in basketball comparatively to these other sports. However, steroids or performance enhancers are more about just strength. It's about recovery. It's about, maintenance. It's at a high level. And those are things that, again, LeBron James has built his entire freaking career around. And now he is utilizing that conversation, the numbers that he has acquired through that maintenance and through this longevity, as to why he's better than all of these other players, including Michael Jordan. So, DEFCON, for LeBron James and his team. I think they need to start spinning. Rich Paul and the Clutch Sports beasts better get in there and start drafting some kind of a plan, and then start, cycling it out for all of these sycophantic media outlets to start parroting on his behalf. Like they do all the time. I think, again, it's time to spin. It's time to come out and double down. Look, if you're LeBron James and you haven't said anything to this point, and there hasn't been anything definitively connected to you at this point, it's time to just triple down, bro. LeBron, let me just talk to LeBron here for a sec. Bron, are you watching? I mean, it's possible. LeBron might be watching. And if you are, LeBron, it's time to triple down, bro. Just continue to deny, but you have to come out and actually deny first. You haven't even taken that first step in denying. So look, if you've used, obviously, we can look at the timeline of events that I just laid out, a timeline of events that I'm going to lay out specifically in a video, which will probably be lengthier than my typical videos. It will be coming out sometime probably over the weekend, maybe not until Monday, but it will be coming. And I think when you look at it in totality, when you check, is there anything specifically definitive? No. But when you look at everything that's surrounding all of the things that we do know, I think it's pretty clear cut. But look, if LeBron has used or hasn't, it's time to come out, let his voice be heard, triple down, deny it, go with a strong, harsh denial, and just assume that you're going to continue to be protected like you have been to this point, because the silence at this point, Bron, is deafening, my guy. You got to get out in front of this and start doing some strong denials. Gary, let's go ahead. We're now 30 minutes in.
Okay.
Again, I feel we have over 800 people here in the live. We had, I think, 800 or 900 in the last live that we did last week when we were talking about the Kobe hating cowards that are coming out and attacking the Black Mamba. And it just doesn't stop. It's just every day it's something new. Shaquille O'Neal, since that last live stream that I was talking about, the Kobe hatred and the cowards and the snakes slithering out from under their little rocks to throw some kind of a shade on Kobe Bryant and try, to lessen his legacy for whatever way. Since then, Shaquille O'Neal has added his name to, and this gives me no pleasure. It gives me no pleasure to do this, but because I like Shaquille O'Neal. And he's been a big Kobe guy in the past. But Shaquille O'Neal in recent days has added his name to the bum asses who are coming out here and taking whacks at Kobe Bryant now in death. Things that they would never say, things that they never did say when he was alive. So obviously we have that going on as well. I just put a video up actually this morning. Well, there's the video yesterday about Shaq. And then today I posted another video. Gilbert Arenas gave me a little shout out in his most recent video. For those of you that are on the chat here who are in the lounge, guys, first of all, many thanks for joining us in this special day and time in the Skap Attack Live Lounge. But for those of you that do not know, I debated Gilbert Arenas about 7 months ago or so, sometime in early January, I believe. He and I went one-on-one for about 3 hours, primarily on the Kobe Bryant topic. And now 7 months later, when Shaq came out and made these recent comments, Gil put out a video like last night or the night before, and he gave me a shout out. Obviously, he's still thinking about me. He's still mulling over that beating I gave him in that last Kobe debate. So I did a little video response to him that I put out this morning on my channel. So you guys can check that out as well. We've got a lot going on, Gary, is what I'm saying. It may be July. It may be nearing August, but the NBA machine is still going on strong here. We have a bunch of free agency things going on, as I speculated, Gary, 2 or 3 weeks ago, that Bradley Beal would eventually come to some kind of a buyout arrangement with the Phoenix Suns and then sign with the LA Clippers. And that more than likely CP40, Chris Paul, who is now 40 years old, would be following him to LA and joining up that geriatric all-star team on the Clippers. Those things have also occurred. So those have finally happened. We only had to wait like 2 or 3 weeks longer than we should have. But Bradley Beal and Chris Paul are members of the Clippers now. The Lakers have been doing some things. I didn't do a video on this. I really haven't mentioned it all. Marcus Smart now, after his buyout, the Lakers are just pulling in all of these buyout players. They got DeAndre Ayton off of a buyout. They get Smart off of a buyout. So, guys, look, what I'm saying is there's a lot to talk about here. We're 35 minutes into the lounge. The waters are warm. They're warm. I see we've got, about 10 super chats queued up already here. And since we are 35 minutes in, guys, I think I'll give my voice a little rest, take a little sippy of water here, turn it over to moderator Gary to read a couple super chats, which I, of course, will answer as always. Gary, go ahead.
I swear, LeBron fans are the MAGA of the sports world. I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that.
Well, Eduardo, as you know, I never get overly political on really any of my videos or the lounge, of course. I just try to veer away from politics. I may, though, guys, teaser, I may be doing a second or maybe even a third channel. I might be doing at least one, maybe two other channels, and I might be talking about some things other than sports on one of those channels, pretty much everything but sports. So maybe I will talk about politics on that one if I do it. Eduardo, until then, I'm probably not going to comment much on that comment, but many thanks to you for the super chat and for supporting us and sponsoring us here in the lounge. All right, let's go next to Cryptic Prodigy. Gary, what is the question or comment from Cryptic Prodigy?
Well, he actually seems like he's posing this one to me. He says,
Gary, wait, allow me.
Well,
to
let
read
me
it
give your
to
voice
you
a
then.
rest.
In response to Gary,
No.
I know 2012 was rigged. Game 2 especially, 11-year-old me didn't believe it when I watched a vid exposing it. Then I turned like 16. What do you have to say to him, Gary?
It's all on that video that I made. If you guys haven't seen on my Gary 828 Sports Talk channel, if you want to check it out, I made a video about Michael Jordan's return, and I had a segment where I went over how the 2012 finals were rigged for LeBron, and that LeBron's legacy never should have gotten to what it is now, and that actually Kevin Durant's legacy should be what LeBron's legacy is, because he's actually better than LeBron. But no one that recently came into the NBA would think that. But if you go back, if you do a deep dive into the beginning of Durant's career, you will see he was head and shoulders above LeBron James.
And then let's jump. Actually, we've got a couple more from Cryptic Prodigy. So let's just jump. I think we have two more from Cryptic Prodigy. Go ahead with this second one, Gary.
We know Lebowko will be exposed when he retires. His lovers won't care, though. They'll just make an excuse or say Jordan probably was too.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously what's coming down the pike. If LeBron is ever exposed, he obviously will just then go into, or I should say his supporters will just go into excuse mode then at that point. But the thing, again, I just have to echo again and just bring it up again. To me, Barry Bonds is the best baseball player I've ever seen in my personal lifetime. I'm born in the 80s. So coming up from then till now, I mean, maybe you want to throw Shohei Ohtani's name in there, but to me, the best player I personally have ever seen is Barry Bonds. That guy is such a pariah. He has been so absolutely vilified. His career has been destroyed, essentially. His legacy, I should say, has been destroyed. There's been many other great, Alex Rodriguez, Roger Clemens. Whenever you get connected to performance enhancers, it's an end game. Like, you are finished. So if LeBron, and again, this guy who has built his entire legacy on these counting stats, on these longevity things, on saying, oh, well, I have more points, rebounds, and assists than everybody else. Oh, I'm going to score 50,000 points. Okay, but you were using PEDs to make sure that you, A, missed minimal amounts of games throughout the course of your NBA career, and then B, let you play at this great and high level deep into your career, where all other all-time great players have already been physically shot by this point. So I think literally LeBron James's entire career becomes undone if there is any actual legitimacy to these claims. And I mean, I think that there is. Now it's just a matter of if we actually get any kind of proof. Cryptic Prodigy is back in again. Cryptic Prodigy, many thanks to you for your kind support and generosity of us here in the lounge. I do appreciate it. Gary, what does this third super chat from Cryptic Prodigy say?
Dirk's 1 ring greater than LeBron's 4. Keep up the good work, Skap.
Absolutely, Cryptic Prodigy. You know I will. And again, I appreciate you. And I agree with you. Dirk's 1 ring, Jokic's 1 ring, Giannis's 1 ring, Hakeem's 2 rings. They're all better. They're all better than LeBron's 4 rings. That's why I hold all of those players basically above LeBron James at this point, because he just never did it. He never proved he could do it. He never showed me, or anybody else for that matter who's paying attention, that he can win the challenging ring, that he can win anything without stacking the deck and cheating himself and the game by just stacking his teams with basically unbeatable amounts of supporting casts. So yes, of course, Dirk's 1 ring is better. And again, Hakeem's 2 rings, far better than LeBron's 4, as far as I'm concerned. Let's jump back up to Karthik Shankar. I jumped over to get to Cryptic Prodigy's 3rd. Karthik, a regular, welcome into the party, pal. We appreciate you as always. Gary, what's this one from Karthik say?
Dope Bron James, the juiced one.
That's a good name for a potential documentary on LeBron James. Maybe I'll float that. Maybe when I complete this recent video that I'm about to put out sometime in the next few days, I'll send it as a teaser to like Amazon and Netflix, and I'll say, hey, if you guys want to fund me, I'll go and do the hard work. I will be that journalist that I mentioned earlier. I will go dig in and do the difficult, the gritty work and get to the real actual bottom of this, and bring a multi-episode series to one of those 2 platforms. And maybe perhaps it could be called The Juiced One. I like that one. I like that. I might even throw that into my title of this most recent one. Thanks. Shout out to you, Karthik. And thank you, as always, for supporting me here. We've got next in MFO Gaming 8682. What's up to you, MFO? A regular. Again, I see a lot of regulars in here in the lounge. We're over 800. Like I said, it's Gary, maybe it's no fluke. Maybe this is what we should come to expect. Like over 800 people when we do the lives. The last 2 now have both been over 800. So a lot of regulars and a lot of people supporting me here. I appreciate you, Gary. What does MFO have for us?
Skap, Gary, thanks for the SO. I assume that means shout out. Question: if 10 people have called him out, why has no lawsuits been filed against KG, Shaq, Paul Pierce, etc.?
Again, suspicious, right? I mean, and again, it's not like LeBron is this mercurial, like unknown, mysterious type figure. I talk a lot about movies here, and I obviously I love movies, and I've talked anyone that knows me or knows this show. I won't say videos necessarily, although I do use Tom Cruise drops in some of my videos. But anyone that knows the show, aka the Skap Lounge here, knows that I'm a massive Tom Cruise fan. And back in like the 90s, when Tom Cruise was at the peak of his early powers, now I think Tom has had a great career renaissance and resurgence, if you will, but there was definitely some troubled times for Tom Cruise. And it came when he got rid of his publicist and started doing more. He started talking more. He started being more available, because up until that point, and I'm talking about him jumping on Oprah's couch and various other interviews that chipped away at the mystique and the lure of Tom Cruise. Up until that point in like the early 2000s, though, Tom Cruise was an enigma. No one really knew anything about this guy. He showed up on red carpets. He was very available to fans. He would stand for photos for hours and sign autographs and stuff. But in terms of like who Tom Cruise really was, and in terms of like him showing us, like personality elements of his or giving us takes of his on things. No one really knew anything about him. Then when he started, becoming more available is when he kind of had that like 5-year patch where people were questioning, is Tom Cruise finished as an A-list movie star? And of course, as only Tom Cruise did, he somehow revitalized his career. It's hard enough to become like the biggest movie star on earth at any point of your career or life. Tom Cruise did it basically twice. And he still is arguably the biggest movie star, even at 63. But my point is, if LeBron were like early Tom Cruise and no one knew anything about him, really, like he never talked about anything or never gave us any insight, then perhaps this wouldn't be so odd. But the fact that this insufferable narcissistic blowhard can't keep his damn mouth shut about literally anything. And now, amid all of this cavalcade, revolving door of people coming out and throwing his name under the bus and putting his name to steroid allegations, he's never going to mention anything about it for like 10 years. It's outright ridiculous. Like that alone, MFO Gaming, to your point, should really just confirm that with which we all are thinking, this guy has been doing it. There's enough smoke. There's obviously fire. And part of that fire is the fact that LeBron ain't blown any of the smoke out. Like, bro, get out there with some kind of a fire extinguisher or a hose, or at least get a damn towel from the kitchen and start fanning at it a little bit. He refuses to say anything, comment on it at all. MFO Gaming, you're right, damn it. It's beyond suspicious. It's damning. We got MFO back in, actually. MFO back to back. Gary, what's the second one say?
P.S. Bron better give finals MVPs to Wade, AD, Allen, and Kyrie if convicted of HGH. He eliminated off of any GOAT or top 20, 50, 75 lists. Shout out Dreamers Pro.
Yes, again, Dreamers Pro. Awesome to have him watching. We've had a couple. Johnny Arnett's been on here before. I've got Uncut Hoops is comments on my videos semi-regularly. So I have the attention of some larger people in this footprint. So I'm obviously grateful to have their attention or whatever, and to have them looking at my stuff from time to time. I'm very thankful for that. But I agree. Look, LeBron, to me, I think he's fringe top 10 conversation simply because of the longevity stats. I don't really think much of those 4 NBA titles he has because of all of the aforementioned things that I've said about that earlier on this, but primarily all of the detail I've gone into in videos in outlining why those rings are just a pure crap in my estimation. But I think when you put the 4 MVPs with all of the longevity metrics, yeah, I think he's fringe top 10. I don't think he's not in my top 10 at this point. He's certainly nowhere near top 5 or that GOAT conversation. But if those longevity metrics and all those counting stats, if those are essentially in effect undone by credible steroid intel on him, well, I think you're right, MFO Gaming. I think he's just basically, I think he's just out of the conversation because, and see, here's the other thing. When we would have to look, when did LeBron start? My expectation is he likely started that first year in Miami when he goes right in the backyard of Biogenesis. So like, what was he in his 7th year in the NBA at that time? When he went to Miami, 7th, 8th year, maybe at most. He had no NBA championships at that point. Okay, he had 2 MVPs. Barry Bonds, during the federal government's probe into Barry Bonds, which was like a year plus of investigative work, they outlined the complete timeline of Barry Bonds using. It was well into his 30s. He was 30. I think he was like 32 or 33 years old when he started, because it was a response to the fact the whole damn league was using it, primarily and most importantly to Barry Bonds, was Sammy Sosa and Mark McGuire. Barry Bonds, who was already the best baseball player alive at that time, who already had, I don't know, like 4 league MVPs, 3 or 4 league MVPs, a multitude of Golden Gloves already. He was already a top 10 all-time MLB player before he ever picked up any kind of a PED. And he did it because, again, according to the probe and the investigative work of the federal government, anywhere between 50 to 70% of the league was using at that time, including confirmed Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire, who were the darlings of baseball at that time. So just Barry Bonds, as a reaction, as a response to that, started using. If LeBron, let's just cut off Barry Bonds is like the years after the federal government of the United States stipulates that he started using. He's still one of the 10 to 15 greatest baseball players of all time, easily. If LeBron James started using in his 7th NBA season, well, I don't know what kind of a comment we can make about his career or his legacy at that point. So there's a lot of questions that need to be answered. Skap Attack, and I am willing to do the answering of them. I am willing to do the hard work. I need to find a sponsor. I need somebody, like I need Amazon Prime or Netflix or something. I need someone to just be like, Skap Attack, look, we'll fund you. Do nothing for the next year or two. Just work on this. Whatever you need, expense it off wherever you have to go, whoever you have to talk to. If I need a little money to grease the tracks, you know what I'm saying? A little bribe case to open up some of these people to be willing to talk on the record officially, whatever, that would be encompassed in my blank check from Amazon or Netflix. If you guys are watching, if anybody from these platforms are watching, get at me. You know my email address. You can find it. Let's talk. Have your people get in touch with my people. We'll figure something out here. Gary, next in, we've got Praise the Dawn. Welcome in, Praise the Dawn. I appreciate you and your generous donation here. Go ahead, Gary, and read this most recent.
Real quick, to piggyback off what you just said, what if the contact that you get is from Mr. Rich Paul, and he makes you an offer to come on the record and say, well, I've looked into it, I've done the investigation, and LeBron James is clean, no steroids at all. And he offers you a nice, clean meal to say that.
Yeah, I mean, Gary, I think I'm going to need a little more cachole, I think, than that. I think
5 mil? 5 mil.
I mean, Gary,
no?
We'll see. I don't want to officially answer this question. I'll say I would need to see the suit. I would need to see like a briefcase of cash. I would need Rich to come to my front door in person. And deliver me like a briefcase of several $1 million. I'll consider it at that point. Although maybe I'll shop around. I'll get some competitive offers from some of these other platforms. Maybe they would want to exceed Rich's offer. Who knows?
Okay. All right. Well, praise to Don. Notice how LeBron's soy boy fans were laughing when Teague trashed Kobe. Then when Teague said they're kings on steroids, they don't want to listen to him all of a sudden. I can't stand his fans.
Yeah, praise the Dawn. We try to keep it a little PG here if we can. We try, or you know, I don't want Skap Attack to be canceled, though. I think we're moving hopefully in the opposing direction of cancellations. Who knows? But yes, we'll just skip over that word. Praise the Dawn. But yes, there has been. Obviously, Jeff Teague has been in the news. I didn't even know Jeff Teague was doing anything since he's only like 37 years old. He's been out of the NBA for a couple years now. So he kind of washed out of the league pretty prematurely, in my estimation. He made a good amount of money, though, in the NBA, did Jeff Teague. I think somewhere in the vicinity of $100 million for, I believe, one career All-Star appearance, and that was in the watered-down, weak Eastern Conference, a year where he only averaged like 14 points per game. So, you know, Teague, I didn't even know he was doing this 520 podcast thing until like the last few weeks, where he just out of nowhere starts firing strays at Kobe Bryant, and now this bombshell comment by him about LeBron James. And again, if you didn't see the exact excerpt from Teague, you would think, based on the thing that he posted on his IG page, again, I'll put it up here real quick. his IG. Y'all weird. I was joking about Braun. He was just that dominate. Chill. First of all, again, Jeff, I'll chill when you start using some proper punctuation in this, like multiple sentence run on here, and using the proper tense of dominate. But still, you would think just seeing that though, you would look at that. Oh well, people are just totally blowing this out of context. They're completely misquoting him, or it was just a joke. No, if you see the clip, which I will include, he legitimately, Teague says Miami LeBron was the best LeBron because he was on steroids. And the rest of the panel they like laugh or kind of try to shake it off. And Teague says, no, seriously though, he was on steroids. Allegedly. Like the allegedly part was the joke. And then he goes into to further qualify his comments about how LeBron had to sit out for a couple weeks one year with a fake back injury to avoid testing. So it wasn't a joke. The only joke is Teague in trying to walk that back now because whatever power brokers are out there have gotten to him. Again, the clutch net is cast far and wide. So somebody obviously has got to Teague, and he immediately in fear walked it back. Of course, no one officially called Teague out. Like we keep saying, no official word from LeBron James. And Teague is the only person to walk it back. You didn't see KG or Sonnen, or you want to know another person that called him out? Victor Conti. Do you guys remember that guy's name? Victor Conti, who was like the mastermind of Balco. He was on my guy Jason Whitlock's show a couple months back, maybe a year ago now at this point. And Victor Conti was speculating that LeBron James might very well be on performance enhancers. How many people have to put this guy's name in their mouth as it pertains to performance enhancers before he's willing to come out and do something about it? Just the denial. I'm not even asking for any kind of legal action necessarily. Just come out and deny it for us, for goodness sakes. If that is, you are innocent, LeBron, and if you actually didn't do this. Next thing we've got model body fit, my main man, Dylan. Dylan, what's up, brother? With the Speedo on the oil, I like it. Gary, what does Dylan have for us right now?
Got here quick, Skap. Pleasure, catch me up, drugs, LBJ.
Yep, that's what we're talking about here. Dylan, thanks for being here, brother. As always, I appreciate you being here. Dylan, actually, I'm pretty certain Dylan is in Miami. I don't know if he was born and raised or if he's lived in Miami for several years, but I know right now he's in Miami. So yeah, that's right in the LeBron James Biogenesis backyard. That's right where LeBron returned when he was slumping that year in Cleveland after he left Miami. That's where he returned for some R&R and came back looking very refreshed indeed. Yeah, everything seems to have begun. All things have led to when he took his talents to South Beach from Cleveland in 2011. And again, right in the heart of the Biogenesis scandal, right in his backyard. And again, that exploded in 2013. And again, on those recently unredacted federal documents, we see a lot of connectivity to LeBron James. So there will be another, again, I've done, I believe, 3 videos on this subject. This will be the one that I'm planning for the next couple days, will be the biggest one that I've put out. It will have the most detail and will go into the most depth of any of the ones previously. Therefore, guys, please do be, don't pressure me here to get it out. Please be patient is the word I'm looking for. It will be out hopefully by the weekend. If not, probably Monday at the latest. Shout out, guys. Gary, we're over 900 now in here. 900 in the lounge, guys. Welcome to all of you guys. It's always just so flattering to have you guys show up for me and get in here and support me. I really do appreciate it. It is humbling. Speaking of which, we've got George Lennon next year on these super chats with a very generous donation. Thank you so much, George. What is the question or comment, Gary, from George?
Just wanted to say thank you for always articulately defending the Mambas' honor. You're the man, Skap.
George, it is my pleasure. I say it all the time. I'm going to just keep saying it. I don't need thanks. I thank you guys for thanking me, but it's an honor for me to do it. It is my duty. Like, I am duty bound to do this. As someone who grew up a massive NBA fan, watching every game Kobe Bryant played in, and then being a major fan of him that I am, as you guys can see over my shoulders, I have to set the record straight. I have to fight back against these pathetic loser narratives that are percolating out there in today, the years, the Lord's year of 2025. Now, several years after Kobe's untimely passing, all of these coward snakes slithering out and throwing dirt on Kobe Bryant. Nope, I'm not here for it. I'm never going to stop. I keep seeing these videos and I keep thinking, another one? Do I have to do another video? Maybe, I've done like 4 or 5 already in the last month. Maybe I can just let this one joker go. Maybe I could just let this one clown slip by without me saying something or making some kind of a response to it. And I just can't. Like, I feel utterly compelled to speak out against it again, just like the Batman at the end of Batman Begins, when Commissioner Gordon, the commish, tries thanking Bruce before he jumps off the roof. And Batman says, you'll never have to thank me. And guys, you never really do. I appreciate you guys really just showing up and supporting me in terms of watching the videos, liking the videos, commenting on them, sharing them. That is thanks enough, guys. I really do appreciate it. Next in, we've got MG. What's up, MG? Thank you for joining us here in the warm waters of the Skap Lounge. Gary, what does MG have for us?
Keep up the protection of Kobe. MJ and Kobe equal life.
Yep, facts. I mean, to me, again, they're just the two best that have ever done it. I mean, Jordan, yes, undeniable. I think the number 2 guy, whatever name you want to bring up next after Jordan, the first name that you mentioned, I think, look, full disclosure, there's probably 6 to 7 names feasibly. Go ahead, Gary.
Let me ask you this to kind of throw a monkey wrench in here. I saw a post. I am not saying Tim Duncan is the GOAT, but I saw a post that said Tim Duncan had the GOAT career. What do you think about it? 19 years in the league, never missed the playoffs. I don't think they ever lost fewer than 50 games in a single season that he was in. They were always like a top seed, even though they didn't win. And they were 1 foul away in 2006 from three-peating, because I believe at the end of Game 7, when Dirk clearly fouled Duncan went to tip in the game-winning shot. The game was tied. Dirk fouled him from behind. They did not call it. The game went into overtime, and the Mavericks were a lot younger than the Spurs, so they ran over the Spurs in overtime. But had that foul been called like that foul been called like it should have, the Spurs likely would have three-peated. So I'm getting at, what do you think about? We know that Duncan had. I would give the edge to Kobe over Duncan for the record, but Kobe had the higher highs, but he also had the lower lows. Duncan was more stable. What do you think about Duncan's career? Could you say that maybe it is the greatest career we've ever seen?
No. And look, no shade on Duncan at all. I think, like I said, there's 6 to 7 names that you can put after Michael Jordan. He's undeniably one of those 6 to 7. He's on my Mount Rushmore all time. I have him in the 4 slot. And quite frankly, maybe I might at some point here bump him up to the 3 spot just behind Kobe. So I do think they're extraordinarily close. It's certainly not a better career than Michael Jordan. Tim Duncan, look, he did not play. I think, to me, Tim Duncan and Kobe Bryant similarly did not have as much supporting casts as the other great all-time players we saw. The Kareems, the Magics, the Birds, the Bill Russells. So I don't want to say like Tim Duncan had a ton of help, But at the same time, he entered the NBA on a team with David Robinson, who was not the David Robinson anymore, but he was still like all-star caliber, all NBA defense caliber, defensive player of the year caliber still. When Duncan entered the league. Now then, look, Robinson got long in the tooth, and then he was joined after David Robinson, essentially. You got Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili in next. Now, whatever you want to say about Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili, like, they were maybe assisted in becoming what they are, or they're considered as great as they are because of Tim Duncan. But we saw those guys play internationally as well. Those were great players. They weren't, they weren't like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and James Worthy great players, but he had perennially very, very good supporting cast players around him up until and including he won his last championship with Ginobili, Parker, and Kawhi Leonard. Tim Duncan actually he won 5 NBA championships, but 2 different players won finals MVPs on teams that Duncan was playing on. So everyone talks about, oh, well, Shaq won the finals MVPs for Kobe. Well, Tony Parker won a finals MVP and Kawhi Leonard won a finals MVP. So like, I didn't see like a third player winning MVPs for Kobe. So I think, and just when I factor in Kobe had a much worse organization than Tim Duncan. Duncan had arguably the greatest organization, building the pieces around him, bringing in the right pieces, having a good coach. Like, he played with Greg Popovich, a top 5 all-time coach, for his entire career. Kobe played for 9 different head coaches. Everyone wants to talk about Phil Jackson. Sure. When Kobe had Phil, he went to the finals basically every year. He played for Phil for like 10 years and went to 7 finals with Phil and won 5. Then he played with 8 other guys. So like, it was just a revolving door of ass by that Lakers organization. And look at some of the teams that Kobe was on. Like, basically, look at after Shaq left, look at the roster he had in like 05, 06, 07 before Gasol came. Then look at like 2012, 2013 range. Like, look at that till he goes out of the league. He has ass players around him, Gary. Terrible players on some of those. So yes, Kobe definitely had lower lows, but that somewhat is because of the clown car organization that he was unfortunately playing for his entire career. But again, there's no shade to Tim Duncan. I think because they are so close, and I think of them so kind of intrinsically connected to one another. They overlapped each other's eras. They played crazy hard competition. They didn't have as much help as all of the other people. They were both great two-way players. I mean, they're arguably they're the 2 best players other than Jordan, the 2 best non-Jordan players ever.
They took the torch from Jordan together and represented the league way better than what LeBron turned the league into. For sure. I'm working through it, guys. Again, your generosity is overwhelming. I'm working through these super chats. I'm a little bit behind, but I just see a large one from David Claiborne. So I want to jump. I'm going to answer every single one of these like I always do. And I could not be more thankful for you guys. But I see this massive one here from David Claiborne. I just wanted to jump down real quick. Thank him. He actually sent 2 in a row there. So I just want to flash those up, answer them, and give him a shout out. David, thank you so much for your very generous support of us here in the lounge. Obviously, we greatly appreciate you. Gary, what is the question or comment? This first one from David. Yeah, David, thank you for the generous donation and also for a great, insightful comment/question. As a Dodger supporter and Lakers hater non-supporter, there's no way in hell I ever considered the lockdown ring the Dodgers won legit, which made last year's victory that much sweeter. So how can anyone in their right mind count LaFrance?
Gary, first of all, I just want to make sure that David's comment gets read properly. So let me just read one sentence. As a Dodgers supporter and Lakers hater non-supporter, I just really wanted to emphasize that properly for David. Looking at LeBron's the fact it's honestly crazy when you break it down. People just forget about his rings. I honestly believe that. I think it's been so far removed since he's actually won anything. I mean, 2016, really, the bubble BS that we'll talk about here in a moment. But like 2016 was the last real championship 10 years ago. I think people forget the context of his rings and that it's just a talking point now. Like, it's just a resume bullet point. 4 NBA championships. But really look at them. Like, the Eastern Conference was so weak when he went into Dwayne Wade's team. It was already like, I think the year before he went, 10 of the 15 All-NBA players were in the West. 10 of the 15. And so basically, LeBron and Wade were the only 2 good players in the Eastern Conference. And LeBron joined that guy's team. And then they got another, top 15 to 17 player that was also in that conference at the time on his own team in Chris Bosh. Are we really supposed to be enthralled with those 2 championships? Really? Are we supposed to be excited and entertained and feel some sort of a way positively about him winning those? I don't think so. If anything, we should look at that tenure, at his time in Miami, as an unmitigated failure. The dude sat on a stage with pyrotechnic concerts going and smoke machines swirling around him and said that they were going to win 8 NBA championships. They won 2 and lost 2, and then he slithered his way out of town to the next thing. That's supposed to be a success. We should look at Miami as a complete and total failure. The 2 that he did get, simply either because of rigging by the officials in the OKC series / them being too young, and then some ridiculousness that happened in the Spurs series with substitutions late in Game 6, which resulted in that catastrophic Ray Allen 3-point shot. But really, they were just too big to fail. They had like 2 of the 5 best players in the NBA and a top 15 player and great role players as well supporting him. Like, they're just too big to fail. So those are his first 2. Then he goes and gets 1 with another bona fide, undeniable super team in Cleveland in a series where Steph Curry was clearly hurt, where Draymond Green was suspended for that one game, and their center was also hurt, as well as, I believe, Iguodala was injured. So, like, all of their good defenders were hurt, and Draymond Green got suspended, and Kyrie Irving was erupting in that series. Kyrie averaged like 27 per game on ridiculous shooting efficiency splits in that series. He had like 2 40-point games, the crazy walk-off game winner. Those are his 3 rings. Then the bubble BS. That's it. Those are the 4 rings. The bubble, which the Lakers were an older team. AD can never seemingly stay healthy, but the COVID shutdown took a 3-month hiatus in the middle of the season before the playoffs started. Then when they restarted them on the Disney campus in Orlando, there was no traveling. It was a custom-made, created tournament for LeBron James to succeed in, with LeBron James and with Anthony Davis, his injury-prone Lakers and elderly squad to succeed in, and so they did. But okay, that's it. Those are the 4 rings. Those are the things that people are like, oh, well, 4-time NBA champion LeBron James. I'm with you, David. It's ridiculous. And people that talk about that bubblegum one now, it's nuts. It's nuts that people now in revisionism hindsight, people are like, oh, well, actually, that was the hardest one of all. Like the 2020 bubble championship was the hardest the hardest championship that anyone's ever had to win. How? Like, you're not traveling at all. You get 3 months off. Like, you get your guy AD who definitely would have probably been hurt or injury affected in some way had they had to play an entire season going through that. I'm with you, David. I don't get it. David puts a little cherry on the sundae here. Gary, go ahead and read this one from David.
Oh, and Clippers in 6.
Yeah, the little cherry on the sundae of the LA Sunday there. I obviously have been speculating that maybe the Clippers are going to run Los Angeles. Look, the Lakers, a lot of people are feeling pretty chesty about the Lakers this year, despite the fact they don't want LeBron at all. LeBron is obviously passive-aggressively doing things behind the scenes and on Instagram and whatever. The things that he does, just getting into everything. I'm sorry, everything that doesn't include credible steroid allegations against him. But LeBron, obviously, there's some kind of bad blood brewing between LeBron and franchise there, I think. A power struggle probably is imminent between him and Luka Doncic. Luka's looking pretty slender, guys. I don't know if you've seen Luka has seemingly shed about 40 or 50 pounds in the offseason. Even his face is looking a lot more slender. So I think Luka's obviously going to take over that team in more ways than one this season. People are very high on this Marcus Smart addition, which I alluded to earlier, and the DeAndre Ayton thing. We'll see. We'll see. I think I'll take the geriatric bunch on the other side of town there in the Clippers. I'm with David on this one as well. I think probably the Clip show, if they can keep any semblance of health going into the playoffs, they could definitely be a real problem. Now, the key word being semblance of health, because they've got a lot of old players on this team. They've got 36-year-old Jimmy Harden and 40-year-old Chris Paul. Like your starter and backup point have a combined 76 years of age on earth. That is crazy old for the NBA. Like that is one of the oldest backcourts I've ever heard of. And then of course, Kawhi Leonard, who can barely run from here to there without getting some multi-week injury. You then got Brook Lopez, who's, 36 or 37. They're freaking old is what I'm saying. And Beal is whatever. He's actually a young spring chicken on that roster. I think he's only like 32. Gary, go ahead. You wanted to slide in there.
I want to ask you a quick question. I know it's a long shot, but I think it would be hilarious and poetic justice if Luka turns the Lakers down and leaves next year. What are the chances? What chance do you give him that maybe he would shun the Lakers and shock the world and sign elsewhere?
Well, I think there's a chance. I think obviously he is not signed. He has not signed anything now. The expectation is he will not. So I think it's going to be a wait and see approach. The Lakers behind the scenes are already essentially trying to win him over and basically throwing LeBron under the bus, saying essentially, this is LeBron's last year. We're committed to you, building around you. I think with that messaging, and if they do it, if they really sever ties with LeBron James, if this is the last year that James is in town, I would be shocked if Luka Doncic does not commit to them full time moving forward. If, however, LeBron James is retained for whatever reason, if he comes back, because he has no contract. So they would have to actually give him a contract, sign him, want him back. If they bring him back, I think it's probably 50-50 that Luka would probably be going elsewhere and would turn that offer down. Of course, a lot of people are speculating on a potential Nikola Jokic and Luka Doncic pairing at some point somewhere, either in Denver or because Denver is now kind of building they're structuring their salary cap space towards it, at least signing someone, bringing something on in a year. And then the Lakers, of course, are working on, they will have presumptively LeBron James coming off the cap and going somewhere else, either to retirement or another team next season. So that essentially would entail the Lakers with found money of about, $55 million of free space. And there's other expiring things going on there. So people speculating maybe that maybe Jokic would be forcing a move to LA so that they could pair somehow. But Gary, I think it's, like I said, 50-50 if LeBron comes back. Otherwise, I think it's unlikely. I think if a franchise with the overall, just the allure, the legacy of the Los Angeles Lakers, the history, the market that they're in, everything about it. If they're willing to go full on in on Luka, including, and that meaning basically saying, LeBron, get the hell out of town. We don't want you. We don't need you anymore, LeBron. We got Luka. I think if they do that, make that kind of gesture, I would be shocked if Luka doesn't reciprocate and take some kind of
Remember when Luka was crying when he was after the trade? His eyes were full of tears, and people are like, "Oh, he loves Dallas so much he doesn't want to leave." That may be true, but I don't know if you know what I think it was. I think it was that he was leaving a state tax-free state and going to California. He's like, damn, a third of my paycheck's going to be gone now.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt Luka was I think he really was genuinely hurt and shocked.
Go to Orlando, state free tax and play. What do you think about Luka going to Orlando next year?
I don't know. I don't say, I think he could leave. But again, look, you just mentioned it. That was a good point.
Fit though. What would you think about that fit with that other guy who's right? I forget. How do you pronounce the guy's name?
Paolo Banchero.
Yeah, Banchero. How do you think about him and Luka?
And Franz Wagner, who's a stud as well. Franz is
very good.
And they obviously got Desmond Bain as well on that big trade. I don't really know cap wise if they have the ability to facilitate that. I'm not sure. They can maybe sacrifice Wagner in some way. But yeah, I mean, I like Orlando a lot this year. I think they're a dark horse team in the East. They're a defensively oriented team. I think for sure he would fit in as just like a scorer there. Young athletes as well. I mean, yeah, he fits in. But I think you made a good point though when you said that he was genuinely hurt and shocked about the Dallas trade because he is such a loyal guy. And I think if the Lakers present the case like, look, we went out to get you because we wanted you desperately. Like we gave up AD to get you, and now we're throwing LeBron James away like a piece of trash to build around you. I think if they show that kind of loyalty and passion to be in business with Luka Doncic, I would be surprised if he didn't reciprocate. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see the way the year goes. We'll see what LeBron's decision is. It's going to be interesting to see for sure. Okay, we hit on George. Did we do we did MGs as well. And now back to Dylan. Just wanted to correct his previous, he just mistyped, I think, his previous super chat. No problem, Dylan. I got where you were going. I understood. And I do appreciate you. You never have to come back in and give me a second super chat to correct something or whatever. I appreciate you though, my man. And I understood where you were going with that. We've got Terry in next. Terry, many thanks to you for your generous donation here to us in the lounge. I appreciate it. Gary, what does Terry have for us, question or comment wise?
Why does Gil frame the Kobe Shaq debate as Batman Robin more like a boxer with strong jab and a killer uppercut, or a tag team that needs both to win, which I agree with. But look at what Shaq did without Kobe, and look what Kobe did without Shaq. That answered your question right there.
Yeah, again, Terry, I in the video I posted this morning, I've got tagged at the end of that video. I've got my two videos I put out on the debate I had with Gil one-on-one. And one of the things I consistently harp on with Gil, and I'll just go ahead and I've mentioned it here, but I'll just mention it again. For some reason, some duos in the NBA are viewed as like equals, or that they're on like a similar tier, such as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Magic Johnson. So I look at the Kobe Shaq pairing as a Kareem and Magic pairing, similar in the way that I look at the Kevin Durant and Steph Curry pairing. Like those two were just 2 1As. Like they were two like co-leads. Like, I don't know. We look at Durant and Curry kind of in that light. We definitely look at Kareem and Magic in that light. Like, why is it that Kobe is just looked as some second, like a substandard citizen, like some secondary guy? Like, they're trying to paint Kobe like he's Scottie Pippen. He's not. He's like Kareem or Magic, whichever one. I don't understand like where the narrative got started or when or how or whatever. But the way I will always push back is they're Batman and Superman, not Batman and Robin. They're just two co-number ones. They're two co-leads. So I don't get it, Terry. That's one of my main points that I consistently harp on, and I will continue to harp on. If Gil if he's courageous enough to want to face me again, because in the last debate, he was pretty much just rigidly stuck on the fact that Kobe was a number 2. Kobe was a bus rider. Kobe was like a passenger. Kobe was being carried. Kobe, blah, blah. Like he was just obsessed with Shaq being the 1A. Whereas my overall premise, which I discussed in the video I posted today, my overall argument about those rings, people belittle the rings and diminish them as a vessel in a way to tarnish Kobe's overall legacy and diminish his overall placement. Well, Kobe wasn't even the lead option on 3 rings. How could he possibly be the second best player ever? How could he possibly be in the GOAT conversation? My argument is he was at such a high level, whatever you want to call him. If you want to, you can call him a 2 or whatever. But he was at such a high level in those 3, and he was so vital and impactful to those 3 that when you combine what he did in those 3 with the remainder of his career, well, he has the best case to be the second name listed after Michael Jordan of anybody that's ever existed. That is my overall case. So if Gil is feeling chesty and courageous enough to come at me with that conversation, I kept trying to lean the conversation that way. The first time, he didn't want any of it. If he wants to come and do it the right way, and we can debate why I think Kobe Bryant is number 2 all time, and he can present his case for LeBron presumptively. Let's go ahead and do it. I'm in, Terry. So go ahead, Gary.
Another quick comparison. How come in 1994, Hakeem won the championship with a bunch of role players? Why didn't Shaq ever even come close to a championship with a bunch of role players? The closest he came was in 95 when he had Penny, who was also very good in his own right. But then he went to LA, and before Kobe, he had a bunch of role players, and they looked very average. So if Shaq is so damn good, why didn't he come close to a championship with role players the way Hakeem did in 94?
Yeah, not Penny Hardaway is not only pretty good, he was first team All-NBA that year.
Mm-hmm.
So in fact, 2 years in a row. The 2 years when, and again, this is another point Gil makes. Oh, well, Jordan was still in the league, so nobody else was winning. Jordan was not in the NBA for 2 years when Shaq was with Orlando. And point in fact, those 2 seasons, Penny Hardaway was first team All-NBA at the 2. So Jordan wasn't in the league. Shaq had the best 2, and he couldn't win a championship.
Mm-hmm.
Then he gets to LA, and he has 2 all-star caliber guards in Nick Van Exel and Eddie Jones, and he's getting swept in the playoffs every year until 20-year-old Kobe Bryant becomes a regular full-time starter, and then all of a sudden they win 3 championships, and it's Shaq has really the only good run of his playoff career. So yes, it is very puzzling, Gary, indeed. It's baffling. All right, we've got MG back in. Again, MG, welcome back into the party. And thank you for this second super chat. I appreciate it. Gary, what's the second one say?
Amen to what Mr. MG here is saying. I agree totally. How can people support a player who flops nonstop, who has been blessed with such a great physique? It's one big joke. LaFlop would not survive the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, I did a video actually called like The Last Flop, and it was like a satirical video, kind of piggybacking off of The Last Dance. These were like some of the earliest videos I've done from like 2 years ago when I really started doing this YouTube thing. And it was like a 5-video series, the last series. One of them was The Last Flop, and I put together like some compilations in there. And some of these flops are ridiculous. Like, I mean, you can see it looks like he's like dying on the court, and then the camera catches him like winking at somebody or like laughing or smiling or like he is literally intentionally, again, just trying to cheat the competitive value of the game in my estimation. But why is it any different, MG? Like, he obviously cheated the competitive value of the game when he stacked not 1 but 2 super teams, then jumped a 3rd time in his prime to join a top 5 player in AD. He doesn't want competition. He wants to cut corners. He wants to cheat the game. He wants to cheat himself. He just wants easy things. So trying to get these easy, fluky, garbagey little calls from his official crew. Again, another part of LeBron's protected career, the officiating teams that are deployed for him routinely. We can even, at this point, invoke the free throw shooting discrepancy that his teams have shot over the last several years. It's like 1,000 more at this point. Like the last couple years, LeBron James's teams have shot like over 1,000 more free throws than the team with the next highest discrepancy. It's just ridiculous, MG. I don't know. You asked the question. Unfortunately, oftentimes I have answers. For this one, I don't. I will never understand the protection and the support afforded to LeBron James. I just don't get it. It's one of those things I just don't understand. I feel like I'm getting punked perpetually when I see people praising this guy and going to bat for him. We've got Sonny, aka Sun2380 in Sonny Woods. What is up, Sonny? Welcome into the lounge and these warm waters. Thank you so much for your very generous donation. Gary, what does Sonny have for us?
Is Shaq turning into Scottie Pippen when it comes to flip-flopping on Kobe's legacy?
Yeah, great point, Sonny. Someone else posed a question to me. Who I saw this yesterday on the video, or maybe today, like who flip-flops more, Shaq or Pippen? That's a great question, because Pippen, as we know, for years has proclaimed Jordan to be the GOAT. And then in recent years, because Scottie was butthurt, he decided to come out and say, oh, well, actually, LeBron is better than Jordan. And not only LeBron, but I personally, this is Scottie, I think Wilt Chamberlain's the best. So, and I think he's maybe mentioned Bill Russell too at one point. So Scottie Pippen definitely vacillates quite a bit. And now we see Shaquille O'Neal too. Shaq, who, again, you can see it in my videos these last few days, has said Kobe is number 2 all-time only to Michael Jordan. He said it on a multiple different occasions on the record. And now all of a sudden, it's just ridiculous, the comments. He said Tracy McGrady, he would have won 3 in a row with Tracy McGrady. He would have won 2 with Vince, and he would have won 6 with Steph Curry. Like, it's just ridiculous. It's so disrespectful from a guy who was 67 and 33 in the playoffs with Kobe Bryant in 6 seasons as Kobe was a starter. And in the 13 years otherwise, when he was playing with a teenager Kobe who was barely playing, and then 7 other top 75 players, he was 62 and 54 in his playoff career. Obviously, Kobe was the one. And again, I mentioned the top 100 players. Shaq, think that over. Shaq played with 7 other top 100 players, top 75 all-time players on teams that Kobe was not on. Kobe played with 1 other top 75 player in the 13 years that he played without Shaq. 12 years. It was 12 years without Shaq. So 8 years with Shaq. On the 12 non-Shaquille O'Neal year teams that Kobe Bryant had in his career, he played with 1 top 75 player, and that was Steve Nash, who was 38 years old when Kobe played with him, and Nash missed 32 games that year because he was such a depleted shell of himself physically. So that is literally the only top 75 dude Kobe ever played with other than Shaq, outside of Shaq teams. Obviously, he played with Karl Malone and Gary Payton for 1 year. Both of them were beyond their best years as well. Karl Malone was 40 years old, and that was on the Shaq team. So Shaq had so much better supporting cast than Kobe, exponentially better support than Kobe, and yet Kobe still more successful than Shaq, won a better percentage of his playoff games without Shaq than Shaq did, vice versa, and won more championships. It's mind-blowing to me, Sonny. And I don't know why Shaq is doing this now at this point. It's very off-putting, and it's disturbing to say the least. All right, we've got Karthik Shankar is back in again. Karthik, what is up? Welcome back into you. What's this second one say, Gary, from Karthik?
Did you read the Bleacher Report article on why they ranked Kobe 11th? You should do a video on that.
Well, I did do a video on the Bleacher Report ranking for about a week ago. So I think it was about a week, maybe a little more. I did a video on him being 11th and the fact that they have moved Steph Curry to the 10th spot above him. So I talked about it, but I did not see what their justifications were or their reasoning was behind the 11th spot ranking. So Karthik, I will look into that. I will read the article. I will look at what the justifications are, it will likely just make me angry, and then I will have no choice but to make a video on it. So I guess stay tuned for that. I am working on a couple things down the pike, this LeBron video I mentioned. So it will definitely go in the queue, though, for sure. You have my word on that, Gary. Next in, we've got Mick Zuggins. Can you, am I saying that right? Mick Zuggins?
Your guess is as good as mine. Mick Zuggins, yeah, that's what it appears like. All right. He says, excuses already started. April 24, Gill claimed 80s, 90s were juicing to play 82 when defending load management. Always cutting people down to look taller. Shaking my head.
Yeah, it's I mean, the excuses, it's just it's crazy. This guy has such an expanse of excuses. And I mean, even with, let's just say, hypothetically speaking, LeBron is allegedly has been using, and he still cannot play 82. Let me see, actually. Let's see. I want to take a look at how many times LeBron James has played 82 throughout the course of his career. I think maybe once. Let's see here. One time in his career did LeBron James play 82 games. Let's check out Michael Jordan here, for instance. Let's look at him. He 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times Jordan played 82. And guess what? Like, he played 81 and 80 and 78 on a couple other years. So even utilizing hypothetically, allegedly, whatever you want to say, even with that stuff, LeBron still, the longevity king, still can't get on the court for 82. And, you know, of course, LeBron's entire career, it's typified, it's defined by the excuses, Mick Zuggins. So the excuses, it's just starting. The excuses have been ongoing since LeBron's basically the first year he was in the league. The excuses have been percolating around for him. So this doesn't in the least surprise or shock me, Mick Zuggins. We should all obviously be expecting it. Next in, we've got Brian Elliott is in. Brian, many thanks to you for joining the stream here and for joining the lounge. I appreciate you very much. Gary, what does Brian have for us now?
Thanks for your work, Skap. Who do you think wins an all-time one-on-one tournament? I got Kobe, most skilled player ever. Who do you think is Kobe's toughest matchup?
That's a great question. I mean, are we doing any like positional based parameters on this? I wonder. I think Kobe is just such a skilled one-on-one player. I mean, would it be too easy, Brian? Would it be taking too much of an easy way out for me to say Michael Jordan, obviously, because Jordan also was a dominant one-on-one talent. He was also a great two-way player, great at defense, just like Kobe. I've said oftentimes I think Kobe is maybe a more skilled offensive player than Jordan. Jordan was obviously a more physically gifted offensive force, I think, and just physically gifted overall. So, you know, I think I want to say Jordan probably would be the toughest challenge, unless, you know, if we're playing larger players, I mean, the Dream to me would be a challenge. Hakeem is obviously one of the great defensive players of all time, arguably the best defensive five ever, behind maybe you could say Bill Russell. So, and then Hakeem had a great skill set as well. He's obviously much bigger and weighed more than Kobe. So that would be a challenge, I think. That would be challenging for him maybe to defend that, to match up against that. I'm even going to say Nikola Jokic. While Kobe Bryant would, I think, school Nikola Jokic, obviously, when Kobe has the ball. What are we doing? Make it, take it? Are we switching off? standard rules to me is make it take it. So Kobe would have to just get the ball and not give it to Jokic. Jokic, obviously, hold on one second, Gary. Let me finish the thought and I'll turn it over to you. Jokic, not a very great defender, obviously, and Kobe's, I think, speed and skill set would cook Jokic one-on-one. But again, just like with Hakeem, if Jokic got the ball, I mean, he's 280 pounds, 270, like, and 6'11". Like, that would be a challenging stop for Kobe. Like, Jokic just kind of like back Kobe down. Now, obviously, Kobe's very quick and intelligent. I think he would probably find a way to get the ball off Jokic. But those would be just off the top of my head, some guys that I can think of. And then Tracy McGrady would be another name. He's not in my good graces these days because of his recent bummish antics and slandering Kobe Bryant. But Tracy did have an equivalent offensive skill set to Kobe, and he was probably at least 2 to 3 good inches bigger, longer wingspan. So those are just some names, Brian, off the top of my head that come up. But that's a good pick though for Kobe to win that, I'd say. Gary, go ahead.
I would just say Jordan and Kobe, I think, would cancel each other out. I think if they played 10 times, it'd go probably 5-5 or maybe 6-4, maybe Jordan. If I had to pick one, I'd probably say Jordan would edge him out slightly. And even Kobe has said, if there's anybody that's going to beat me one-on-one, it's going to be the man who made that last shot in Utah. But my guy who I have is easy to predict, Kevin Durant. Because Kobe's not stopping Kevin Durant from scoring, but Kobe's going to be I don't think Kevin Durant is really going to be able to stop Kobe from scoring, but he might be able to slow him down a tad more. I'm not saying that he would dominate Kobe, but if they played 10 times, I could see Durant winning 3 or 4 out of 10.
Yeah, Durant's a good name, but I think, again, Durant is a pure 6'11" probably. So he's definitely got the length and the range on Kobe. Probably could shoot over, get good looks. But Durant's also very physically unimposing. He's not a very strong player. So I think Kobe could maybe use like his strength more on KD. And of course, Kobe, a much better defender than I'd say they're equivalently great offensive players, but Kobe a much better. And then you just have to think like mindset, like Kobe would just want it. He would just be obsessed and like consumed with winning it and getting it that one-on-one. So I think you got to give like the mindset check to Kobe as well. So, but definitely a good name, and that would definitely be. And just to piggyback maybe on your pick, a guy that played in the requisite era that came in kind of a similar time, and really to echo Kobe's words, Carmelo Anthony was a player that Kobe himself said always gave him trouble because Carmelo was a very skilled offensive scorer. He had a lot in his bag, so to speak, but he was also bigger and had more weight. And like Kobe, it was harder for Kobe to match up with him. So I'd say that's just one more name I think that I would throw in to the mix. Go ahead, Gary.
This is how you fix. This is what we want on the All-Star Weekend. Imagine a one-on-one tournament, or even if you just had a showcase of a one-on-one game every year. How amazing that could have been in the past, but we want to fix it now. Let's experiment that. We do the dorky skills challenge, which is not exciting. Why don't we do a one-on-one? But the thing is, most of these guys nowadays don't have the courage to go and do it. As LeBron, we see the quote-unquote GOAT, who doesn't even have the courage to enter the slam dunk contest because he knows he would get exposed and that his dunks are not anything that's going to win him. He would lose. He would have lost to Zach LaVine or Aaron Gordon. He would have lost to Mac McClung in a slam dunk competition. So that's why he never entered. You could have at least entered for fun. I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent, but a one-on-one would be so fun if they would do something like that.
I've been wanting to see it for years. I've been asking for it for years. We do all these other ridiculous, superfluous little competitions and stuff that no one really cares about. A one-on-one, and then just to juice it up, I feel like we need some kind of high stakes prize for it. Like I want the guys. Like I think it would be awesome. I'm sure they wouldn't do it. The cheap cowards that they are in the NBA today. But look, the contracts swelling to these exorbitant amounts. Like
yes.
Why? look, these guys are making the guys that we would want to see, Gary, that like the marquee superstar guys like the Anthony Edwards of the NBA. Like these guys are all making like $50 million a year. So like, how about you ante up? Like, let's get the top 10 guys, like the top 10 one-on-one guys, have them each pony up 1 million each. 1 mil goes into the pot. The winner takes all their money. 10 mil, like just sitting in like cash in the center of the court. And like that, now that would be competition. Like you see these guys playing for not only 10 million, but to take those guys, the other guys' money. Like that's something that I think would be so juicy. I think that would be like the best thing we see in the NBA all year if they did something like that. Let Commissioner Skap work on this, Gary.
I love the way tennis is structured. You get paid more the further you advance in the tournament. I just watched Wimbledon recently. You had no slackers. No one was slacking. Everyone wanted it, and it was just so refreshing to watch that level of competition and effort from everyone involved.
Agreed. And Gary, next we've got guys. I'm sorry, I'm making my way through. We've got 33 super chats. I'm gonna hit them all. Although my dog is getting pretty restless, but I will still be on. We're at the hour and 45 minute mark, and goodness, Irinola Schools has just joined the party, and who knows? We get like 5-6 things from them usually when they come in, and each one is allegedly going to be the last one. So Gary, go ahead and read this one from Irinola real quick as I let my dog through this little door.
All right, I'm back. Has the main media actually started talking about this? If not, then he is definitely guilty. He cheats by flopping, forming super teams, and buying the media. Why wouldn't he dope?
Exactly, Irinola. And to answer your question, no, the main media isn't talking about it because LeBron is still protected on high. Hopefully we're getting to a time where he is not. So hopefully that time will be soon. But until then, no, the mass media is not talking about this. And that is a good point. Like, why wouldn't he just keep doing it? There's no repercussions, no consequences whatsoever. But my question is, if he's so confident, why doesn't he come out and give us some actual denials? Like, come out and just like shoot your mouth off and say, no, you're not juicing. So I don't know. Maybe we'll get it at one of these times. I'm not holding my breath for it, Irinola. But I am grateful to have you back into the mix here with us. Gary, I'm going to turn it over to you real quick for Con JKJ. And I'm just going to run and let my dog is barking her face off at the door.
Right,
so guys, I will be right back in one moment. Little Luna is requesting that she be let out. So Gary, go ahead and read that one for me.
All right. I think it's really funny how Barry Bonds is almost the poster boy for using steroids, and LeBron said he is the best baseball player ever. Yeah, that is definitely ironic from Mr. LeBron James there. So are we talking about baseball now that Skap stepped out? He'll be back momentarily. But yeah, I didn't follow Barry Bonds okay, you followed Barry Bonds, so you know a lot about this.
Yeah, I'll just to give a quick cursory read. Yes, correct. Like Barry Bonds he's like the poster. Him and I would say Lance Armstrong as well are basically like the poster boys, poster whatever for usage, and it essentially destroyed both of their careers, legacies, whatever. They're completely tarnished. Remember how beloved Lance Armstrong was with the Live Strong, the cancer survivor, winning whatever. I think 7 straight Tour de France's. Barry Bonds, I think he has 8. I think he has 8 league MVPs. 8 in the modern era of MLB. Let me look that up. I want to say it's 8 and like double-digit Golden Gloves. He's on the I believe the 400 club for stolen bases and home runs. Maybe, no, I think it's 500. All right, I'm sorry. He's a 7-time league MVP. 7-time league MVP, 8-time Golden Glove award winner, 12-time Silver Slugger award, 14-time All-Star. And the crazy thing about Barry Bonds, I believe he's stolen 500 bases and hit 500 home runs. There's, I think, 2 other guys that have done the 300. No one has even done 400. Like, he is crazy great. And he did a large plurality of his work before he started using steroids, and yet completely tarnished. His legacy is completely destroyed. And yet just LeBron continues to be protected. And I think there needs to be some difficult questions asked by somebody. I know there's answers out there. So just who's going to be the one? Like I said, get at me, Netflix. Get at me, Amazon Prime. Have your people get in touch with my people. I'm willing to be the one. I will dig in. If the government wants to come knocking at my door, again, just let me know. I'm available, guys. I will do the work. I'll put in the time, and I will produce the report. The Skap attack report will be what we call it. Con JKJ. So I totally agree with you 100% though on your premise. We've got a big friend of the show. Skap's Extra Strong Cologne is in. Welcome in Skap's Extra Strong Cologne. Gary, can you make out what the newest avatar is there? I can't really see it that well.
I can't see it either. It looks like somebody's face is tatted up.
I could see there's a tagline that it smells like us. So I don't know if that's good or bad for cologne, but probably bad, I would guess. But Skap's Extra Strong Cologne, as always, I appreciate you, your humor, and obviously you pushing for my own cologne line. Gary, what does Skap's Extra Strong Cologne have for us here? Question or comment?
What would the potentially real material losses be for LeBron in his camp if he did come out and not only confirm he was on Balco, but justified it?
I mean, I don't think there would be really material loss. I don't think he wouldn't lose any money. I mean, he is obviously worth, I think, over $1 billion now at this stage. He's got a ludicrous amount of on-court earnings. He's making, I think, $56 million this year. So I don't think he would really lose any of his net worth or financial standings. What he would lose, though, is everything in terms of the court of public opinion. He would lose the jock sniffers, I would think. Although I'm probably getting too far ahead of myself. I'm sure that the jock sniffers and bootlickers would remain on the faithful LeBron James bandwagon. But I would think everybody else that has been talking this guy up for whatever reason, I think he loses all of them. And I think that he pretty much decisively is negated from all future conversations on the GOAT topic, or really probably even top 10. I would think he just falls out of those discussions altogether. He just becomes an asterisk laden player like Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens and Lance Armstrong. And whether you think that that's fair or not fair, and whatever justifications or explanations he wants to offer us, the simple matter of the fact is it's destroyed everybody else. Why would it not destroy him? So probably no money, but he definitely which means just about as much to him as his money, his name, his legacy, the aura of King James it's over immediately. So I think that's what he stands to lose. Irinola Schools is back in. Gary, I'm going to let you again read this. I'm going to go slide out and see what's up with Little Luna. This looks like a Tim Duncan thing, so I'll catch up in one second.
Tim Duncan can never be the GOAT. He wasn't alpha enough to lead the Olympic team to a gold. Kobe did, and beat Kobe with Pau Gasol only consistently. Yeah, if you're, are you responding to me? Because I wasn't insinuating that Duncan was the GOAT, because I definitely don't think that. But I had seen a post that said he had the GOAT career. But I mean, he did. Honestly, the Spurs stole him. The Spurs, Skap, if you remember, the Spurs had no business getting Tim Duncan. They were like a Western Conference finalist. Robinson was MVP in like 95. And then 2 years later in 97, Robinson, Sean Elliott, and Avery Johnson at the beginning, the first leg of the season, have season-ending injuries. And so they just suck. They're not a bad team. They're just injured. Meanwhile, the crappy Celtics and 76ers really do suck. They're anemic. But then the Spurs stole the #1 pick, and Duncan comes in to a great situation because now Robinson, Elliott, and Avery are all now healthy with this new juggernaut Tim Duncan added to a team that just went to the Western Conference Finals. And Boston and Philly have to be like, what the hell just happened? One of us should have gotten Duncan because that's rightfully where he probably should have went.
Yeah. It was one of the more bizarre kind of happenings. And there's a long history of crazy things happening at the top. The Patrick Ewing thing to New York, LeBron even to Cleveland, you could say. Most recently, this one with Cooper Flagg going to Dallas. But that San Antonio one was definitely one that was like, it was just a crazy kind of thing to pair him with Robinson like that. Robinson, who was still, like I said, he wasn't quite David Robinson, but he was still, I want to say he was like 32 or 33 at the time. So it is, they got lucky to get him. He got lucky going to a great organization, which fostered his career in the right way throughout his career. Kobe, again, from the beginning, he got drafted, best workout that Jerry West had ever seen in his entire life, and yet he barely plays his first 2 years. And then, he's kind of muffled. He has to kind of stymie his own offensive game at times for the benefit of the team playing with Shaq. Then when they get rid of Shaq, they bring pure garbage in around him. Finally, they bring in Pau Gasol, and then Kobe runs off another couple championships. I see Irinola mentioned. Kobe demolished the Spurs that year with just Pau, with Gasol averaging, I think he averaged 13 points per game in that series, Gary. The 2000, I want to say it was the 2009 Western Conference Finals. Let me look that up right now. Okay, no, it must have been 2008. Must be the year that I'm thinking of. I guess it was the year that they went into the finals and lost then to the Celtics. But yeah, it was the 2008 Western Conference Finals. The Lakers beat them in 5, Gary. That was the team that had just won the NBA championship.
Wait, hold on. Are you talking about the Spurs?
Yes.
Oh, hold on. You already know how I feel about this. This is what pisses me off the most about the Spurs. I don't know why. They won it in 03, 05, and 07. And then in 08, they took their perfectly good team and said, hey, let's add Richard Jefferson. When Richard Jefferson went to the Spurs, he messed the chemistry up. 2008, they sucked. 2009, they sucked. 2010, they sucked. 2011, they sucked. They got eliminated quickly in the playoffs. But then they traded him in 2012 to the Warriors for Steven Jackson, and then they went 31-2.
Gary, Richard Jefferson was not on the Spurs in 2008.
Yes, he was.
Well, he wasn't on the playoff roster. I'm looking at the playoff roster right now. Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Brent Berry, Bruce Bowen, Michael Finley, Kurt Thomas, Fabricio Umberto, Ime Udoka, Jacques Vaughn, Robert Horry, Matt Bonner, and Damon Stoudemire. That was the active Spurs roster in the playoffs in 2008.
Okay, I will get back. Maybe it was 2009 he signed, but I know that I remember they got dominated in the first round by the Mavericks one year and by the Grizzlies one year. If they went to the Western Conference Finals in 2008,
correct,
that would make sense that he wasn't there. And there's no shame if they had lost to Kobe and Pau Gasol in 2008. There's no shame in that if that's the case. But Richard Jefferson, he did mess that team up for a while. Maybe I'm a year off. Let me double check that. But
here's the thing, though, Gary. This is my point. The Spurs won the championship the year earlier. They had a championship roster that had 31-year-old Tim Duncan, 25-year-old Tony Parker, and 30-year-old Manu Ginobili as the core pieces, all three in their prime. A team that literally just humiliated LeBron James in the NBA Finals the year before, and Kobe beat them down in 5 games. And Pau Gasol in that series was the second leading scorer for the Lakers with 13 points on 44% shooting. That's what the second best player on the Lakers team did in that series in the Western Conference Finals. 13 points on 44% shooting, and Kobe beat Tim Duncan's ass in that series. Like, that's what Kobe Bryant was.
Okay, you're right. Richard Jefferson was on the Bucks in 2008. So he went to the Spurs in 2009. That makes sense why they went to the West Conference Finals, because I don't ever remember them getting that far with Jefferson, because as far as I remember, they lost in the first round every year they had Richard Jefferson. And as soon as they traded him, they resumed where they were in 2007. So yeah.
So I'm just echoing Irinola School's point, and then just one more. Yes, they got the bronze on. It was LeBron was on that team, Carmelo, Dwayne Wade. They were all younger, but who was not younger was Tim Duncan, who was like 30, and Allen Iverson, who was still in his prime on that team. That team got the bronze. Kobe never getting bronze. All right. Kobe, I don't think Kobe ever even lost a game in his international career. So Irinola, I'm with Irinola. I again, and I didn't want this when you posed the question. I made sure to preface it with, I don't want to slander Tim Duncan. I think very highly of Tim Duncan. I like Duncan a lot. I think he's, to me, a Mount Rushmore caliber player, but he ain't Kobe. Like, to me, Kobe is still the guy that is the next name that comes up after and only Michael Jordan. Next thing, we've got Hollywood Silva. Thank you, Hollywood Silva. Just wanted to give this super sticker thing. I appreciate you for just coming in and wanting to support the show. Thank you very much, Hollywood Silva. Next in is Eduardo. Again, I think Eduardo began. I think yes, Eduardo was the very first super chat. So welcome back in, Eduardo, for another one. What is this most recent one say, Gary?
He's saying the same thing I've said. I would pay money to see you take on Nick Wright. Yes.
Love to see it. Love to see it in Jim Irsay voice. R.I.P. Jim Irsay. I would love to get a piece of Nick Wright for sure. 100%. I would say yes. I don't need any money for that whatsoever. I would go anywhere. I would fly myself and put myself up in. I will pay for my own travel and accommodations to get to studio and get a piece of him. I don't even want to do it over on computer or whatever, or via the internet.
You want to do it in studio?
Yes, I want to be live in studio. I want to look this guy in the face and just destroy his every take. I would love to see it, Eduardo.
It might not be a good idea. You guys might fight physically, so that might not be good.
I mean, I would like my chances in that too. I'd be feeling confident in any.
Yeah, but
in any capacity, me versus Nick Wright, I feel good.
Yeah, I agree, but that might not be good if he files a lawsuit against him.
And Nick and I, by the way, are about the same age. I know I look so much better than Nick, but right. we are approximately the same age. And we went to, I believe we're both Big Ten alum. He went to Syracuse. I went to Penn State. So I don't even know if they're Big Ten. I don't even know if where Syracuse is at now.
I think they're ACC. They were at ACC. They've realigned so much the last couple of years. I can't keep up anymore. I don't even watch college football much anymore. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't
Let me just see.
All these teams now, the SEC, my beloved SEC that I grew up watching as a child, and now these other teams are in the SEC, and it's so weird. It doesn't even feel like the SEC anymore.
So Syracuse is still in the ACC. I thought they were in. I swear that they made the jump. to the Big Ten because there's only like 2 conferences now that matter. Like it's not even the Big Ten, Gary. There's like 35 teams in the Big Ten now. I thought Syracuse,
right,
but I was incorrect. They are still in the ACC, at least for football. Now there's like they're indifferent. Like the football teams are indifferent than the basketball teams in some instances. It's crazy. I can't even follow it. That like there's teams, Gary, in LA. I think USC is in the Big Ten right now. USC, like the big. I can't even keep it straight here. But thank you, Eduardo. I would love to. Love to see Nick Wright. Deadpool 2925 is in next. What is up, Deadpool? Thank you for joining the party here. I appreciate it, Gary. What does Deadpool have for us?
Yeah, and to confirm, yes, USC is now in the Big Ten, along with UCLA and Oregon and Washington.
It's crazy.
How are they Big Ten? They're
crazy.
Pac-12.
Right. It's crazy. It's crazy. That's what I'm saying. There's like, it's the big 35 now. And there's just every team is in there. It's like you're either in the SEC or the Big Ten. That's it. So that's why I'm shocked that Syracuse is still in the ACC. But go ahead with Deadpool.
All right. Deadpool here. We got Skap. If it wasn't for the bums in the media, how many MVPs do you think Kobe Bryant should have won?
I think at least at a minimum of at least 2. I think myself personally 3 or 4. Me being a big Kobe guy, I would probably say 4, but I'm good. I'd be good with 3. Like I would take 3. I would take that to the bank. I would feel very good and comfortable with that. I think 2 is irrefutable. So let's say anywhere between 2 to 4, if the media didn't absolutely hate Kobe's guts, which of course we know that they obviously did. The fact that this guy has the 3rd most top 5 finishes ever in league history with 11. There's only 6 total guys ever that finished double-digit times in the top 5. All 5 of the other 6 guys all have at least 4 league MVPs. Kobe only has 1. Make that make sense. And of course, Nikola Jokic will be joining the mix. He will have double-digit MVP finishes as well. And he's going to have at least 3, probably though 4 and maybe 5 or something like that. So it doesn't make sense, Deadpool. The media obviously hated him. That's the reason why he doesn't have more. Great question. We've got MFO Gaming 8682 back in. What's up with MFO this time, Gary? Thank you, MFO, for yet another super chat, by the way.
Ever thought about having guests in the Skap Live? Well, one of these days I'm going to come on and we're going to have a good formal debate one of these days.
Yeah, yes, MFO, to answer your question as well. I do. Oftentimes, I would like to have maybe like a link where I can have people like call in or whatever. Like, I don't know. See, this is my problem ultimately. I know nothing about technology. I think you can tell that by me saying I don't want to have a debate over the internet or whatever. I am very I am a, what's the term, laggard. The people that are standoffish on implementing new technology and stuff. I do not know much about technology. I don't know very much about computers. I don't know much about this program StreamYard that I use. I have a vision for this. First of all, I know I've been teasing it. I am going to do it where I do kind of like a weekly scheduled live show every week for like maybe 2-3 days a week at a specified time slot where I come in and talk about whatever's going on in the sports world. So I want to do that. I have a vision where there's like graphic cards in there. I could play little snippets of highlights or have, stock footage coming in. And in addition, one of the formatting things I would like to implement would be having people have the ability to call in or join me like on whatever, get their voice, get like a voice call or whatever.
Do all that.
Yeah. So that's, I know it's something that can be done on this application on StreamYard. It's just something I haven't gotten around to yet. And I haven't gotten, in the mix of, but that's something it is coming down the pike. It's something that I'm going to do here at some point. So yes, stay tuned for that MFO. And if you are interested, obviously, in calling in, we could obviously have you call in at some point when I get that started. Next in, we've got Cryptic Prodigy yet again, and another super chat from Cryptic Prodigy. Thank you so much again for your generosity here. Gary, what's this most recent one say?
Wade's my favorite player since I'm from Miami, and I wish he didn't let LeBron join. I said the same thing. If he won a couple more in Miami with no super team, I believe he'd have a top 10 case.
For sure. I agree. Wade is in the news. I think I did not see or look or click, but I saw a headline somewhere where Dwayne Wade was comparing himself to Michael Jordan. So now I think that while that is ridiculous, maybe on the surface of it, if you really think about it, Wade is a top 5 2-guard all time. I think you can make a case. I don't know what you think of Jerry West, what position you want to put him at, 1 or 2. If you put him at 2, to me, he goes after, in my opinion, Jordan and Kobe. And then it would be just Wade, I think. So Wade is right there in the mix of the best 2 guards of all time. And I think there was a case to be made that he was better than LeBron when LeBron joined him, even though LeBron had the 2 league MVPs. Wade had a championship and a finals MVP. And they were both top 2, I believe, that year in PER, BPM, VORP, win share. So they were very, maybe not win share. Wade wasn't that good that the year before they joined, but the other 3 definitively, Wade was like 1 or 2 right by LeBron. So yeah, I think I too was angry with Wade because Kobe was getting older. I was looking for my next guy that was going to be my next player after Kobe left. And Wade was the person that I wanted to adopt because he was obviously the closest a competitor to LeBron, the guy that I thought could match LeBron for years to come. And then, of course, they join each other. So I, too, dislike Wade probably forever because of those antics and shenanigans. However, I am thankful to him because he has not thrown Kobe under the bus yet, as far as I can tell. He is a big Kobe advocate, a Kobe supporter. He's spoken out a couple times on Kobe's behalf, and he has not stabbed Kobe on the back yet. Oh, wait, Gary is mentioning
this guy here. Go down to the next comment because he's addressing that actually.
Okay, Cryptic Prodigy back in with something about, okay, I guess D-Wade did throw Kobe under the...
He did say something. I don't recall exactly. He says lost respect for him after Kobe disrespect, though. There was a little jab Wade took at Kobe. I'll have to go find that. I'm
going to have to look into it. At this point, I'm forgetting... I probably have done a video on it. If he
There's so much of it to go around.
You know what? I think this is ringing a bell now. I did do a video on this. It was like a couple, I want to say it was like a couple weeks ago. Please stay with me. I could see my thumbnail for it. It kind of started this cavalcade of Kobe's slander off.
Dwayne Wade is a bum 4 weeks ago.
Yep, there you go. A month ago, Dwayne Wade is a bum. There you go. And there is, I forget what he said. I did a whole video.
You want me to bring it back? Why don't we get to the next one and I'll scan this over while you're talking.
Just watch my video.
Yeah,
I'm sure I highlight it well. But yes, Dwayne, you know what? It was something about, I know, I remember it. He was saying that Pau Gasol should have been finals MVP. That was the comment. That's what
the jab.
Right. Now I remember. He was saying that Gasol, and this was just so, again, this is so contradictory. It's insane because Wade came out, and I highlight this in the video now. It's all coming back to me, guys. Sorry, I've been up since like 4:30 a.m. For 2 or 3 days in a row. So please forgive my little brain fart there. Yes, Dwayne Wade in like 2 different pretty publicized appearances came out and said, like, in an appearance which was separated by like a year, in the 2 instances that he made these comments, that essentially, I'm paraphrasing, LeBron and him decided to team up in the first place in 2011 in the summer of free agency when they joined in Miami because of Kobe, because Kobe was just so dominant, because Kobe had 5, because Kobe was killing it, and they couldn't compete, they felt like, on their own, so they needed to join forces. That was the thing. That was the story Dwayne Wade was pushing. Then all of a sudden, like a month ago, this bum comes out and says Pau Gasol should have been the finals MVP in 2010. So that is the Kobe slander that the Cryptic Prodigy is responding to. And I guess I just tried to gloss over it and try to forgive Dwayne, but damn it, now I'm heated up about it again, because I did a full video on it. And you know what? Saying that Gasol should have been the MVP of that series is unmitigated insanity. It really is. It's lunacy. It's madness. Kobe outscored Gasol by 10 points per game, and outscored everybody in the series by at least 10 points per game. He outscored everyone on both teams by at least 10 points per game, while finishing second in that series in total rebounds behind only Gasol, and second in assists behind only Rajon Rondo. He led both teams in steals. He had the best defensive box plus minus, I believe, for the Lakers. To say that Kobe wasn't the easy MVP that year is just a straight out lie by Dwayne Wade. And that actually, I believe that began this revolving door of Kobe slander that we've seen over the last month, with McGrady then coming out, with Teague, now Shaq. It's just, I think that's the one, though, that started it. So good on you, Cryptic Prodigy, for reminding me of that. We've got CJ Shrimpy in next. CJ Shrimpy, welcome in. I appreciate you coming in and supporting us here on the stream. Gary, what does CJ have for us?
If you had to build an all-time starting 5, not necessarily the best 5 players ever, but a starting 5, I guess he's referring to positionally, of all-time players that you think would dominate. So your best team to dominate positionally.
Yeah, I mean, I get asked this question from time to time. It's hard. It's difficult to build fit into when – I'm so big on defense, though. I know the game style and play has changed drastically over the last decade. We've gone from, 17, 21 3-point shots a game to 40, 35, 40. So 3-point shooting and spacing is such a buzzword now, such an important part of the game, that I think when I build my best 5 team to dominate or whatever, I think a lot of pushback will be, oh, well, they're too big. They're not, they wouldn't be able to defend the spread easily enough. But I just don't care. I think I would just put together who I think are the best, basically the best two-way players that I think would just figure it out in my estimation. I think I would definitely have Hakeem Olajuwon, Kobe Bryant, and Michael Jordan on my list. Hakeem would probably be, I don't know. I think I would maybe want Russell on there too, but again, this is a very big team. And then probably Bird in it the 3, just to help with spacing the floor, getting a little more outside shooting, and just maybe Bird would be more of a facilitator on there, I think, because Kobe and Jordan are so ball dominant.
Who would be your point guard? Jordan or Kobe would be your point?
Kobe would be playing 1. I think Kobe played primarily 1 in the first 8 years. He played primarily the point guard position. I know they were in a triangle offense and there wasn't a true point, but Kobe played a lot of 1 in his first 8 years. Again, I would just want the best. I just want the best guys that, again, to dominate. Who do I think? I want the best 5 players that would dominate. Well, those guys are highly competitive. They're two-way players other than Bird, though Bird did, I believe, make 3 all-NBA defensive teams. I think he is an undervalued defender. I think his defense was understated. I think he was better than he's given credit for. So I think that would be, maybe I would switch Russell out and put maybe a smaller guy that could shoot a little bit better and space. Maybe I would go, I don't know, and he's not a very good defender, but maybe your man KG. Maybe I'd go Kobe, because KG doesn't need the ball, obviously, either. He proved that he could do it away from the ball. He proved that in Golden State. Maybe I'd go Kobe, Jordan, Bird, KG, and then Hakeem. I don't know.
KG over Duncan?
Say it again.
KG over Duncan?
I'm sorry, KD. Kevin Durant.
KD.
I'm sorry, Kevin Durant.
What about Duncan? Duncan wouldn't be on the team?
Duncan I would want Duncan on my roster too. If I could play Duncan at 4, Hakeem at 5, then maybe Bird at that's like my all-time 5 though too. So I guess maybe that would be the list I would go with. And people will say, oh, there's not enough outside shooting, or oh, they can't move their feet enough and get out on the 3. I would just bank on those guys figuring it out. I think that they're good enough defensively that they could just figure out. And then offensively, good luck stopping them. Hakeem, probably the most skilled big man other than maybe Jokic, but Hakeem does it on both ends. And then Jordan and Kobe, like, good luck stopping them. So I think CJ Shrimpy, good question. That you might argue that that's not a great fit necessarily, but that's the team I'm rolling out against anybody else. We've got Isaiah Monroe in next. What do we got from Isaiah? And welcome, Isaiah, to the party, pal. Gary, what's Isaiah have for us?
I'm surprised you didn't have Paul Shirley on that team. Please do a video on Shaq being the greatest bus rider in history. He always needed a closer to carry him to his championships.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. Like, everyone talks about, what Shaq did do for Kobe or whatever. What about what Kobe did for Shaq? Like, Kobe was not only the principal facilitator, ball handler on that team, led the team in assists always, but he was the closer, definitively. He always led the team in fourth quarter points, in clutch scoring. He typically always led the postseason in those championship runs, not just the team, the entire playoffs in fourth quarter scoring and in clutch scoring. He did it as a 21-year-old. Kobe Bryant led the NBA playoffs in clutch scoring in the first championship run that they made when they beat Indiana. So, Isaiah, great point, bruh. That is a great point, my friend. Shaq, like, maybe Shaq was the one that needed Kobe. Maybe it wasn't vice versa. Maybe it wasn't the other way around. I speculate on this in the video I made about Shaq's idiotic comments about how he would have won 2 with Vince, 3 with T-Mac, 6 with Steph. Well, I speculate, what if Kobe never paired up with Shaq at all? And instead, in like the year 2000, Kobe and Tim Duncan paired up. Kobe and I said in the video, I include Kevin Garnett and also Dirk Nowitzki. I think if you put in 2000, those players were all the same, relatively the same age as Kobe Bryant. If you put Kobe with Duncan, Dirk, or KG, I would prefer Duncan, of course, or KG because of their defensive prowess. But if you put Kobe with any of those 3, Kobe, I think, and they stay together for the vast majority of their overlapping careers, I think that team would have won like 7, 8, 9 championships. So what woulda, coulda, shoulda, Shaq? Like, what if your fat bum ass who was never in shape and couldn't take defense seriously, what if Kobe had Duncan instead of your ass, or KG more? He would have won more. That's what would have happened.
If Shaq had just been like he was in 2000, he was unstoppable in 2000. And that's the only year where he focused on training his body and disciplining himself. And he even practiced his free throws. And I think he shot like around 67% from the free throw line, which is a miracle for him.
Gary, that is an outright lie. He never shot 67.
He didn't.
We got to fact check this. He never shot over 60%. There's no way. I got to check this.
I thought he did in 2000.
Maybe in the playoffs, maybe. His career free throw percentage is 52%. His MVP year, he shot 52%. So
from the free throw,
maybe in the playoffs. Shaq never once shot 60%. His highest, actually, weirdly enough, his highest free throw shooting year ever was his rookie year at 59. I'm sorry, a hundredth of a percent better was his Phoenix year, where he played 75 games, 59.5%. That was his best. In the playoffs, he shot 65% in the playoffs, but that was in the 2001-2002 season. He never shot outside. In 96-97, he shot 61% in the playoffs. So in the playoffs, he did shoot a little bit better, although it's lower for his career playoff percentage, 50% to 52%. But yes, he shot 2 different occasions on playoff runs. He shot in the 60s in the playoffs, never in the regular season.
Okay, maybe that's what I saw. I remember when he was really focused in 2000. If I remember correctly, he was working out with Magic Johnson on his free throws. I thought it was a little segment on one of the sports shows showing how he was actually in the gym practicing his free throws. I vaguely remember that. And I thought it was around 67%. But yeah, evidently that was some other stat. But anyways, it didn't matter anyways, his free throws, because he was so dominant everywhere else. But
Agreed.
You saw how focused he was like something we hadn't seen.
Agreed. Next in, we've got Manned BGN, who wants to ignite some Dwayne Wade fodder here against Kobe. Go ahead with it.
Kobe's final stats are not even better than D. Wade. Kobe shot above 43% field goals in 2 out of 7 finals. Facts. How is he close to Jordan?
Well, first of all, Dwayne Wade, I make no qualms about it. Dwayne Wade, to me, had the best finals performance of like this century, I think. The 2006, the 06 performance where he had just Shaq and no LeBron, and they went down 0-2 to Dallas and then came back and won 4 straight. And Wade was unbelievable. He was masterful. With that said, look, Kobe, first of all, Kobe played the hardest competition in NBA history from any player. That's a fact, man. Fact. That Kobe played harder competition than Michael Jordan. Much harder. And Jordan played difficult competition. Much, much, much harder than LeBron. Much harder than Dwayne Wade. Kobe Bryant faced the most difficult competition ever. He played 87% of all of his playoff opponents. 87% won 50 games minimum, and he played extraordinarily difficult defensive teams in his playoff run. Extraordinarily difficult. Much more difficult than Michael Jordan, much more difficult than Dwayne Wade, much more difficult than anyone else that you want to bring up. He played the Detroit Pistons in one of the finals. He played the Boston Celtics in 2 of his finals. That just happens to be the 2 best defensive teams of the last 35 years. He played them in 3 of the 7. Just stop it with your stupid revisionism. Go back and look, do the work. Go back and look at his opponents. Like, go back and what did he do when he played the Orlando Magic in the finals? Like, the Magic weren't a historical all-time defensive team like Kobe was typically seeing in the finals. In his early 3 run against when he was with Shaq, he was consistently muffling his own offense when he got into the finals. Go look what he did against the Western Conference when Shaq was the one that needed him because the power was in the West, the bigs were in the West, and Kobe was the one leading the way in the West. Go look at that. Then, yes, when they got into the NBA Finals against the Eastern Conference opponents, Kobe was stifling his offense at that point because Shaq was playing the scrub centers that the Eastern Conference had to offer. But let's take a look at when Kobe wasn't, either letting Shaq dominate a weak Eastern opponent or playing, one of the greatest defensive teams ever. Let's take a look at what he did against the Orlando Magic, shall we? Let's take a look because the Magic weren't, a world beater defensively. So in that 5-game series, Kobe Bryant averaged 32 points per game, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds. 1.4 steals, 1.4 blocks. It's crazy the daisy chaining that I see with finals garbage commentary by Mand here and by several other people looking to discredit Kobe Bryant. I know this is probably hard for a LeBron fan to understand, because just for some reason for LeBron, just getting to the finals is an accomplishment. Kobe went through significantly more difficult and challenging pathways just to get into the finals, playing the Western Conference opponents that he had to play, whereas LeBron is playing teams under 500 or the best teams in his conference that was like DeMar DeRozan led. So I know it's challenging to understand, but Kobe's resume and his playoff accomplishments are more than just the NBA Finals. Man, he played, again, 86% of his opponents, 50-plus win teams, and the best handful of defensive caliber opponents that he played throughout the NBA playoffs, and not to mention a significantly different kind of era that Kobe was playing in. The pace of play, the spacing non-existent, the defensive rule sets completely and totally different than anyone that came before Kobe Bryant and anyone that came after Kobe Bryant. It was an absolute dead ball era. Looking at the 2004 NBA Finals, for instance, against the Detroit Pistons, in that series, the Lakers averaged 81 points per game as a team. 81.8 points per game as a team, the Lakers averaged in that final series. How about the 2010 NBA Finals against the Boston Celtics that they won? In that series, the Lakers averaged 91 points per game, okay? And they shot as a team 41%. So what about, man? What about this? How about you learn to read? Get on the internet and do some research. Otherwise, brother or ma'am, whatever you are, get on my channel and watch some of my videos because I do the work for you. I put the legwork in for you. I do the groundwork. I put these things into context. What about? I take away your whataboutisms and I do the hard research and I give you the facts. So if you didn't get enough right here, and by the way, thank you for your support in giving us a little donation for me to just give you a little tongue lashing here. If you didn't get enough, though, go ahead. Let me refer you to the Skap Attack channel where there's like 500 videos and there's a bunch of this stuff. There's a bunch of context on this. You can check out maybe a 17-minute video called The Timeline of the Greatest Playoff Run in NBA History, which is all about what Kobe Bryant accomplished. So go ahead, man. Go ahead and check into that if you'd like. Next in, we've got Coco Hulk. All right. Coco Hulk, welcome in. Speaking of Hulk, I don't want to derail us or go off on get too far out here. We're 2.5 hours in. I'm still rapidly trying to catch up on these super chats, but Hulk Hogan passed away today. I don't know if that means anything to anybody, but that is in the news right now. It's trending, so I figured that I would mention it. And now Coco Hulk is in here with a super chat. Gary, go ahead.
Why such a Kobe hatred wave now? What's the agenda?
It's just got to be, again, this is pure speculation on my behalf. It's got to be LeBron led in some way, like, because LeBron, I think he's losing luster more and more with every passing year that he plays and doesn't win championships. I think that there's more and more, kind of an outcry that maybe LeBron isn't the second best player. Maybe other names are starting to come up. Maybe this guy who played in his concurrent era, and LeBron never really actually passed that guy. Maybe this all now is just in some kind of a reaction to that, in some kind of a retaliation or a pushback to that kind of a commentary now, that we need to belittle pretty much every other player that's played, but mainly Kobe Bryant, it seems like, for the glorification of LeBron James. Coco Hulk, I don't know exactly. It's just speculation. Your guess is as good as mine, though, ultimately. All I can do is talk about it and fight against it the best that I can. And as you know, I'm going to keep on keeping on doing that. Next in, we have Kayako, maybe. I know I slaughter some of these names, but thank you for coming in a regular. I appreciate it. Gary, go ahead with this one.
Curry and KD got drug tested, yet, of course, Bron did not.
It's crazy if Curry and Durant are getting drug tested. Like, just take a look at those guys' physiques.
KD's on steroids, you can tell.
particularly KD. This guy is a string bean. He entered the NBA. I remember when he was coming in and they were doing the the pre-draft camp stuff, like the NBA combine, for lack of a better term. And in the NFL, in the combines, they do the 225 bench press. How many times can you rep it? In the NBA, they do 185, and Durant couldn't do it one time, which was not surprising because he was like 6'11", like 170 pounds when he came into the NBA, and his arms were like 10 feet long. So obviously he's not going to be able to do it. But still, looking at this dude's physique now, 17 years in, he's like 30, 36, 37 now. And he still looks like he probably can't bench press 185 pounds. So I don't know how those guys, he passes the eye test. If anybody ever has, KD does, as to why he ain't using any kind of performance enhancers. We've got Sub-Zero 3639 live in next with a very generous drop here to us. Thank you, Sub-Zero. Gary, what is the question or comment here?
I have a channel, LeBron Haters Refuge, and I have a video showing 50 reasons why LeBron James is unranked, at least out of the top 20. Check me out. I will check your video out, Sub-Zero.
Okay, let me write this down. LeBron Haters Refuge.
And I'm looking at your page. One tip I can give you real quick. I think you should probably try to find a sharper image to put. Your image, your channel icon wants to stand out more. You've got a photo of LeBron and Kobe standing by each other. Maybe I would recommend finding something a little bolder and something a little crisper and sharper, because it's a tad blurry. It looks a tad pixelated. Just my first thoughts, and I'll check that video out sometime soon.
I'll check you out, Sub-Zero. You've got my word. LeBron Haters Refuge. I'll check it out. Shout out to you, Sub-Zero. Thank you for dropping in here, and I will definitely check out that video and check your page out. Thank you for presenting that, and you guys should go check that out as well at LeBron Haters Refuge. The 50 reasons why LeBron James is unranked. Next in, we've got Mick Zuggins back in. Thank you so much for your continued generosity, Mick Zuggins. What is this most recent question or comment, Gary?
Idea. All-Star History Challenges. Dribble course, no carries, no travels. One-on-ones with 90s defensive rules. Box out challenge. Second and fourth quarters, threes or twos. Thoughts? What else can you think of? I think you're on the right track.
I think so, McZuggins. I like that. Actually, you know what I like in terms of this? You in the one-on-one that we're talking about, the one where you get like the 10 best guys, and essentially, I think the NBA should call it out. I think the fans, in accordance with the NBA, should call these 10 guys out, emasculate them if they say no, and then force them to ante up $1 million to our purse. The 10 mil goes in the middle. Then, in addition to that, you call your own rule, your own fouls. So, you have to call, are you going to be the guy that calls these ticky-tack touch fouls and draws the game out and gets just absolutely lambasted on social media? Or are you going to be a man and play through the contact and only call the actual true fouls? Or will there be men of honor and dignity who, when they know that they got you, they will call the foul themselves? That would be something I think that we can add that element to our one-on-one challenge. But McZuggins, I like every single one that you just mentioned. I like. So I will start brainstorming and see if I can come up with anything to add to this. But I think, like Gary said, I believe that you are, my friend, on the right track. We've got Iranola Schools back in. Iranola, of course, for whatever reason, I'm like the biggest Kobe fan on earth. Like look over my two shoulders. I was at Kobe's last game that he ever played physically in Staples Center to see the Black Mamba drop 60. I cried like a baby, 10 different times throughout that game. Then I cried different tears for 48 hours when the Mamba untimely passed. I skipped work for 3 days. I was inconsolable. And now I'm out here battling on Kobe's behalf seemingly daily against these scrub haters that keeps coming out. And yet Irinola Schools keeps fighting with me about Kobe. It's funny to me. Like Irinola is fighting me on Kobe, that I'm not giving Kobe enough respect because he thinks Kobe's actually above Jordan or Irinola, whatever, he, she, whoever. So go ahead and read Irinola's most recent message about how I'm not giving Kobe enough respect. Go ahead.
Jordan would not have won 3 rings without Rodman. And Kobe only lost to the Celtics because they cheated by creating a super team. This adds to my case as Kobe being a better winner ring-wise than MJ.
Look, it's well known. I've got Jordan 1, Kobe 2. But I'm not, Irinola, I'm not going to sit here and fight with you about Kobe. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to make cases against Kobe. I agree with you. I think it's so close. I think it is so much closer than most people feasibly and realistically give Kobe credit for being. Like, it is a lot closer. I think Kobe won harder rings with less help. I know it's crazy to say that because he did have Shaq for the 3, but overall, when you look at the totality of Kobe's playoff runs versus Jordan's playoff runs, I think Jordan did have more help, and I think Kobe played harder competition, and he won 5. So I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to badmouth. I will never say a negative word about my man, the late, great Kobe Bryant, Irinola Schools. We've got Deadpool 2925 back in. Deadpool, thank you again for rejoining the conversation here and in the sponsor area of the lounge. Gary, go ahead with this most recent one.
And I told you, Skap, I don't know if Stephen A. Smith on the Stephen A. Smith show, if he still allows callers to call in, but if he does, I told you should call him up. And when you get prepped before they put you on live, just make up some random topic you want to ask Stephen, sneak on him, give him your YouTube channel link. Say, I want to debate you live on why Kobe is better than LeBron. So Deadpool says, Skap, I would love to see you go up against Stephen A. Smith and others who downplay on Kobe Bryant's case in the GOAT debate.
Yeah, I would love to too. Like I said, I would love to go up against Gil again and talk really about Kobe's place on the all-time rank. I don't give a shit what he wants to call the pairing of Kobe and Shaq. I really don't. Like, I want to see, like, let's pinpoint this. Let's hammer it in here, Gil. Where all time do you have Kobe Bryant? I've got him at 2. Let's debate that. Let's figure that out. And I'm willing to go up against anybody that wants to debate me on it. Really, the only thing that they can bring up is the MVPs, the lack of MVPs. But again, there's an asterisk there in my estimation because the media despised Kobe, actively went out of their way to sabotage him and take away the MVPs in order now to impugn his overall case. Now, this was all part of the plan while he was playing, and it's working, unfortunately, to perfection. But I have ways to combat that and work around it. So, I'm not hard to find, and I always say yes. So I'll make whatever happen that I can, have these conversations, discussions, debates. I love to do it. We got another regular in now, Jolly Joshams. Jolly, welcome back into the show. Thank you guys so much for coming in and finding me here on this yet again, another special day and time here and sponsoring us. Gary, what does Jolly have for us?
Welcome back, Skap and Gary. Is CP3 to the Clippers going to be his last hurrah, or does it not make a difference in the Western Conference?
Well, this is his last year. So last hurrah in that sense, if you want to call it that. I think, look, CP3, I mean, he's obviously not what he used to be. I think he played all 82 games last year, though, which is remarkable at his age. And he still was a plus player last year. They're going to ask him to be a backup player at this point, and just a contributor, might be in closing time from depending on what they want to do lineup wise. He once was an elite defender. He isn't anymore. So I don't know if you want him in there at that point in the game. I think, look, the Clippers in general, I alluded to it and talked about it earlier. They have a lot of older players. Harden's in his mid-30s. CP3's in his 40. Kawhi Leonard's 30 plus, and he's hurt all the time. Brook Lopez is like 37. Even Bradley Beal's like 32. Like, they're basically like most of their contributors. I mean, Ivica Zubac is like he's pretty much like the only guy in the 20s that's like a major contributor, I think. And they've got a couple guys on the bench. But I mean, they all hinge on health. If they stay healthy, they're in the mix. They're a contender. I think they're going to be competitive in the Western Conference. To me, in the West, though, I think Oklahoma City and Houston are the two best teams on paper in the West. They're the two teams I think that have the best shot to win a championship right now in the entire league, East included. And I think Denver would be the one rogue, dark horse outlier that I think actually is a real viable contender at this point. I think they might have what it takes with these additions this summer to maybe somehow win a championship. But those are pretty much the top three teams, probably in that order. I'd say Houston and OKC are on tier one. Denver's right below them. And then the rest after that. And the Clippers, they fall maybe fairly highly in the rest after that column, depending on health. But that's a big depending on when you have this many guys late stages of their careers. So we'll see. I've always been a fan of CP3. I would like to see him do well this year, obviously, but not at the expense of my Denver Nuggets. So I'll be rooting for Nikola Jokic, as I typically do. After that, sure, I harbor nothing negative against the Clip. I like most of the players on that team other than little game James Harden. So, we'll see what this year holds for them. Regardless, though, it will be CP3's final in the NBA. Next in, we have the real Donald Trump, who, again, has been on here before, and I know it is not the real Donald Trump, primarily because these are Canadian dollars. But nonetheless, welcome back into you, DT. We're glad to have you. Gary, what does the real Donald Trump have in terms of a question or comment?
Thank you for consistent uploads and hard work. If there are brave souls in the mainstream media, who will be the one to expose LaFraud using Balco use? LaBalco is ranked 757th overall. That could happen at some point, but someone's going to have to get the green light from the bosses in charge before that drops.
Right. And thank you, DT, for the kind words. I do appreciate you. I don't know. I think, like Gary said, there's nobody, I don't think no figure, talking head in the media today has the pull or the ability, I don't think, to step out on their own and go against LeBron James. If it is a cover-up job, if the NBA, if ESPN is involved in perpetuating this protection and cover-up for LeBron, I just don't know what independent person that isn't backed by any like major network or conglomerate would be able to come out and really and shake the earth here, so to speak. So I just don't know. I'm willing to do it on the smaller level. Again, but I joke about somebody else backing me, but it would be a tough ask. Like I've already started working on this video. I think it's going to be good, but again, I don't have the ability to like go and force, no one can force anybody to answer questions, but to really get to the people that might be able to make a comment on it, or might have the ability to speak on the record. I mean, it's difficult for anybody lacking subpoena power or a great deal of money to get these people to go on the record. So I don't know, to answer your question, DT. Hopefully it's coming sometime soon. If no one else is up to the challenge, I am. Next in, we've got Jacob. I'll try the last name, Melkonian. I don't know. As someone with the last name of Skapanak, they get slaughtered all the time. Hopefully I didn't crush yours, Jacob. Thank you for your generous donation here, and for joining us, and for listening to the lounge here. We do appreciate it, Jacob. And Gary, what is the question or comment?
If Kobe left after winning the three-peat and sold out like Bron and Shaq, joined Timmy in 04, Kobe would have 8 chips easy. Imagine if Kobe joined the Spurs, Skap.
Yeah. Or again, even like I say Tim Duncan, but even KG, like, look at what was happening to Kevin Garnett at the time. Like, I think the Lakers beat them in the Western Conference Finals in
In
'03
'04. They did
or
in
'04.
'04.
Yes, '04. So like, so just imagine, like, and that was the first time KG got out of the first round in his entire career to that point. So just imagine if Kobe, after the '04 debacle against the Pistons, was just like, I need a fresh start. This isn't it. Like, it's time for me to go out and do something different. And either KG said, like, hey, let's me and you go to a team together that makes the most sense. And like, we'll just build our own thing there. Or maybe Kobe's willing, I'll just come to Minnesota then. But what if KG and Kobe teamed up in '04? Those two guys, the full court players that they were, the dominant defenders, like, those two are tied with 9 first-team all-defensive selections, the most in NBA history, tied with Jordan and Gary Payton. Like, what if those two, and of course KG was a league MVP as well, as was Kobe Bryant. Like, what if those two teamed up in their peak? They were like, KG, I think, was a year young. He came in the '95 draft. I think Kobe came in the '96. So, like, when they both came out of high school, they were basically the same age. What if those two teamed up? Like, Kobe didn't do that because he's not a fraud coward that wants to steal easy rings and take the easy way out. So he just stayed. He choked on those garbage lineups that his garbage franchise gave him for like 3 years. Then they finally got him Pau Gasol, someone significantly below the level of a KG or a Tim Duncan. And Kobe still won 2 more somehow with that. So yeah, for these reasons, this is why Kobe will forever and always, Jacob, be above LeBron James, and to me is above everybody else too. But Michael Jordan, and it's very close, as I continue to say. Next in, we've got Rob Thames. Yet again, I know I'm a broken record at this point, but a regular in the sponsor area of the lounge. Rob, thank you so much. Gary, what does Rob have today?
It hurts that Shaq sold out to the cringe sports mafia. He's always had a place in my heart because he helped cultivate my love for basketball in the 90s.
Agreed, Rob. And look, even when Kobe and Shaq hated each other, I've been a huge Kobe disciple and fan for my entire life. I saw this guy play the first time when he was in high school still. He was only like 7 years older than me. So we were, I feel like I kind of grew up watching him, and I was always team Kobe 100%. He was always my favorite player in the NBA. But even when Kobe and Shaq hated each other, I still had a soft spot in my heart for Shaq, and I still liked and appreciated Shaq. And then when Shaq and he, rekindled, a few years before he passed away, and Shaq became a huge outspoken advocate of Kobe Bryant's, well, I loved him even more. And now for Shaq to come with this BS, Rob, it really does take thy beak from out my heart. It really does. E2 Brute, and it's guys that I respect. I like Dwayne Wade. Like we talked about earlier, he came out about a month ago. I like Tracy McGrady. He came. Now, Shaq, it's people that I like. It's so hurtful. It really is. The Mind Studios is in next. I like that name and that logo. Welcome in, Mind Studios. Many thanks for sponsoring the live stream here in the lounge. Thank you so much, Gary. What does the Mind Studios have for us here?
The propaganda against Kobe, the man and basketball player, started summer of '03, the same summer LeBron came in the league. The summer before hand checking was changed. Thank you, Skap. You're doing God's work.
My pleasure, Mind Work. Thank you so much for your kind words of support and your generosity, obviously. Yes, and I agree. The Kobe slander machine has been working since about then. Like Kobe, before that, was just this dominant force that was on this historic three-peat. Then all of a sudden it became, oh, well, Kobe can't win without Shaq. Kobe is just a sidekick after all. Kobe is just a little bit better Scottie Pippen. And then it became Kobe's a ball hog. He's selfish. Then it became Kobe's inefficient. Then it became, Pau Gasol is actually better than we all thought. Now, in hindsight, we're just recycling the same old BS. But you're right. It did start. It started right on the heels of that three-peat, right coincidentally, when LeBron James entered the league. Very suspicious indeed, Mind Studios. That's a great point. And I have been saying all along that LeBron, some way and somehow, has his grubby little fingertips in here. And next in, we've got Irinola Schools back in, probably to talk more, hopefully, about Kobe and why he's Irinola Schools' GOAT. We know I love to hear it, even though I have Jordan just slightly above him. Sorry, I was just checking to see Luna, my best friend / assistant / dog, just slipped back out of my studio area. So I'm not sure what's going on here. But we are drawing to a conclusion here, I think, guys. We're nearing the 3-hour mark. I still do have a healthy amount of super chats to get to, though. So let's get to them, shall we, Gary, with Irinola School's next one.
I think it's clear that the Mount Rushmore should only be reserved for the best two-way players in history. If we go with that, then it's Kobe, MJ, Hakeem, Duncan. No one else was quite a great two-way. Kawhi Leonard would be if he had been healthy. In his peak, he was.
Yeah, I mean, but you're right. But like to do it for a long enough period of time, I see. I do see what Irinola is saying. I would say this. I know Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is not generally renowned as a great defender, but he does have 10 or 11 All-NBA defensive selections. So Kareem, Kobe, and Duncan are the only 3 players in league history that have at least 10 All-NBA selections and at least 10 All-NBA defensive selections. So I'm with you, Irinola. But I would put the addition of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in there. That is why the 4 names that you just listed, in addition to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, are my top 5. So while I don't say if you're not a two-way, you can't be included at all, I do think higher of two-way players, which is why those 5 are my top 5. And then I have other guys, I have Magic after that and Bird after that. So and then I just perpetually don't know what to do with Wilt. So Wilt was a great defender too. And Wilt needs to probably be higher in my current list than he is. So that's something that I'm going to at some point do a really deep dive into. But Gary, go ahead.
I also wanted to acknowledge someone else, not for the GOAT discussion, but a phenomenal two-way player, and that's David Robinson.
Yeah.
I mean, he won the scoring title one year. So he was a great two-way player. Obviously, he's a tier below these guys, but he was definitely a phenomenal top two-way guy.
Totally agreed on the Admiral. I'm a big fan. I think he's generally regarded a little bit lower than he deserves to be. He was a great two-way player. Next in, we've got Xavier DeGod is in. So who knows what else Xavier might have? But let's start off I'm sure he has at least one more in here. But go ahead with his first one.
LeBron to the Clippers next. LOL. Joining.
But with his age demographic, he would fit in perfectly.
Right. That's what he's saying.
He would get right in there. That would be, I don't even have to look it up. That would be the oldest team in NBA history. If LeBron,
it might already be.
It probably is. It probably already is. But if you put LeBron on there, it's just even crazier. And who knows? Maybe he will. Maybe he will just swap locales. Stay in Cali, but go to the different LA team. That would be pretty funny, Xavier.
How hilarious would it be if the Clippers won it this year while LeBron was on the Lakers?
I mean, if they stay healthy, crazier things have happened. So, it's not that crazy to think that if they stay healthy, though.
I just mean for what it would do to LeBron's legacy, that he let the Clippers get that championship on his watch, something Kobe never would have allowed.
Correct. Just one more thing to take points away. We've got Deadpool 2925 in yet again with just wanting to give a shout out and give us
that one. I think he had a typo. Go down 2, and here's his. Skap, in your opinion. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Oh, wait, sorry. Am I missing it? Go ahead and read it. I don't know if I'm.
He says, Skap, in your opinion, when Kobe Bryant was thinking of going to Chicago, when you think Kobe Bryant's career what you think Kobe Bryant career would have looked like.
Yeah. First of all, again, thank you so much for sending me 2 super chats, even though one of them was just a typo. I'm sorry that you had to send the second one just for that. You should have sent that to the live. I appreciate it. I really do. And what do I think? I think Kobe, honestly, people think he was lucky to go to LA. Again, I say this all the time. It took away from his career. It hurt him. Like I wish, like in an alternate universe, I wish I could go and see a world where Kobe just stayed on Charlotte, where they picked him with I think it was the 13th pick overall in the 96 draft, and he just stayed there. And they just built a team around him, and he got to shoot 20 times a game from the time he entered the NBA, and he got a team built around him that he got to operate in that putrid conference, Eastern Conference, that LeBron got to for years. I would have just loved to see that. I think Kobe would have won still a minimum of 3 or 4 rings. I think he would have won 6 or 7 or 8 scoring titles. I think he would be the all-time leading scorer in NBA history, and I think he would have 3 or 4 league MVPs, and there would be no Shaq narrative. So I think him going to LA did a disservice to him and to his career. People think like it was lucky. It wasn't. I think had he gone to that Chicago team, it would have been a hard-nosed, gritty defensive team that it was, only you would have added Kobe, who was also a great defender, but he could have just focused on his offense. And I think that they would have won a couple more. I think he would have won some in Chicago. And who knows, like if he had won some playing that style in the footsteps of Jordan in Jordan's building, it would have been interesting to see what the narrative would have become then at that point. But it's obviously all speculation at this point, Deadpool. But I think Kobe getting away from LA, I know it sounds crazy because he is a lifelong Laker and he took that very seriously and it meant a lot to him. But I think if Kobe got away from LA at any point in his career, it would have been better for him. Is what I think. But still, the fact that he stayed in one place for all 20 years and didn't run, didn't jump, like I think that's part of his legacy now too, though. Like I think that goes into it. Like he didn't take the easy way out. He didn't just go find a better opportunity. He just stayed there through a freaking full-on rebuild in his mid-prime and came out the other end and still won with it. Like that's just part of it. Like Kobe, like he wasn't a runner. Like sure, he flirted with other teams. Yes, he demanded trades, but ultimately he never pulled the trigger on these things because he wasn't a runner. He stayed and he just did what he did. He won difficult championships. So I guess I just talked myself out of it. I guess I'm glad he stayed, but I wish he would have never went. I wish he would have just gotten drafted in Charlotte and been there for his whole career. Go ahead, Gary.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you recall, he was considering the whole Chicago thing. If I remember correctly, it was right after they lost to the Pistons in 2004. There was speculation about it. Is that the time? Am I correct?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Here's the thing. LeBron, if you go back and watch him in 2009 when they lost to the Celtics, he lost in 2010. He was still on the Cavs in 2010, wasn't he?
Yeah.
His final year, they lost to the Celtics 2010 also. Yeah, it was 2009 they lost to the Magic. And 2010, when they lost to the Celtics, before that series was over, you can look at LeBron. I'm telling you, he was mentally checked out. He already knew he was going to team up with Dwayne Wade in free agency in Miami. He knew it. It was planned in advance. Kobe,
100%.
on the other hand, not only did he not pull the trigger, but he was only considering it after the fact, like way later. LeBron's mind was already made up. That's a big difference in their mentality.
And when he was demanding trades, it was when he was leading the NBA in scoring with a starting 5 that consisted of Smush Parker, Kwame Brown, Chris Mim, and Lamar Odom, and a 6-man of Luke Walton. Like that, when he was demanding trades for like 2 full years, he led the league in scoring, was first team all NBA defense, and had that as his starting lineup. So that was just frustration talking, obviously. They got him Pau Gasol, who at the time was a one-time All-Star. And of course, as they say, the rest is history.
Whereas with LeBron, when he left, I believe you can look it up, 61-21. The Cavaliers were 61-21. If I remember correctly, they were 39-2 at home that year. And that wasn't enough for LeBron to build around, just add another piece. No, I've got to jump ship.
Right.
So my point is there's a stark difference between the team Kobe wanted to get away from and then the team LeBron gave up on.
Correct. Yep. It all goes into it. Mindset and also like where I think, how I regard them and where I rank them. Good point, Gary. Go ahead with Xavier's next super chat. Xavier, thank you for coming back in and checking in with us. What does this one say, Gary?
It says a lot more about Kobe. He was able to keep up with prime Shaq at a young age. If Kobe played with Duncan or MJ, he would have more rings.
Yeah, I think so too, because they would have been on the same, well, forgetting about MJ because it's a different era, but I think because Kobe and Duncan were on the same trajectory age-wise, like Shaq was whatever, 27, 28. Kobe was like 21 when they were winning championships. So like, even if they didn't hate each other's guts at the time they were playing with each other, which they did, Shaq and Kobe, even if Kobe wasn't getting bombarded even back then with idiotic commentary coming from the media about how he can't win without Shaq. Like, even if they loved each other, everything was sunshine and roses between the two of them, still Shaq was going to age out and stop being good. And Kobe was still going to be in his prime. So I think had he played with Duncan or Garnett or Dirk, they were all basically the same age and they were good bigs at the time. So I think had Kobe paired with one of those two from an early age, like they would have just run the league. They would have been absolutely thoroughly dominant. They would have been one of the top dynasties, I think, especially if it was Duncan, because then Duncan wouldn't have existed as a counterfoil to Kobe. They would have just been together. So I think, and the way the two of them were relatively healthy, and the way they both approached the defense, I think that would have been like a dream pairing, personally. We've got the real Donald Trump is checking back in from Canada. Thank you, DT, for coming back, and I appreciate it. Gary, what's the second one say?
If LeBron is such a good passer, why does he not have the all-time assist record? Prime Kobe, 04 through 07, how much better he is than LeBron, Curry, or KD?
Yeah, so obviously we've got LeBron will likely be second, though, all time. I want to say I don't know if he already is or isn't. He's top 4 in assists. If he isn't second, he will be likely. But he will not get the top spot. I think also LeBron, I think he is a good passer, but I think his passing is somewhat overrated in some instances. I think, for instance, in today's NBA, I think Nikola Jokic is a better passer than LeBron James. I think the Chris Paul is a better passer as well. Maybe not at this point or whatever's left of Chris Paul, but I think we've seen several players throughout the LeBron James era that I think are better passers than he is, let alone the greatest passer ever. Obviously not like Magic, Stockton, which Stockton is far and away the career leader in assists, and he likely will be for all of time. Kobe in his prime from 04 through 07. Again, a time by and large wasted and squandered by his disgraceful, pathetic organization, the front office at the time. I mean, I don't know. What more can you say to a guy that has arguably the greatest single season offensive year in NBA history? If you adjust it for pace and pace, if you adjust it for 100 possession pace equalizer to go back with what was going on in the 60s and stuff in the 80s, it's arguably the highest scoring season in NBA history. I think adjusted to today's pace, it's like 40 per game or something like that, that Kobe did in 05, 06, a year where he was first team all NBA defense. I said this last time we were on the live. There's exactly three people ever to lead a league lead the league in scoring and be first team all NBA defense. Jerry West, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant was so unbelievably dominant in that 3-year stretch. I think, to me, he's pretty much, I think he's heads and shoulders above the other guys that you named. I think from an offensive standpoint, prime KD is very close. I think you could say maybe Steph Curry at his offensive peak in the unanimous season, MVP season, was also his advanced numbers arguably better than Kobe's. But when you look at the fact that I attribute a lot of, and I don't want to get into a Steph Curry thing, but I attribute a lot of Steph Curry's success to Steve Kerr's system and the personnel that Steph Curry's been around, at least until most recently. And then Steph Curry, of course, not that good of a defender. I'd say, LeBron at his peak, pretty dominant two-way player, but bagless in my estimation, a very limited offensive scorer when he was at his peak in Miami. I don't think, LeBron's, full offensive repertoire was very impressive. I'd say Kobe in his peak is arguably the greatest prime player ever. The other people I put in that mix would be Hakeem and Jordan at this point. Maybe offensively, you could say maybe Bird and Nikola Jokic. But in terms of like totality of a peak, like Kobe's arguably the greatest ever. And I think above those pretty significantly, for me at least, above those other three. But good question, DT. Irinola is back in yet again for, I don't know, the fourth or fifth time. What's up? Welcome back, Irinola. Gary, what does Irinola have for us this time?
This is right up my alley, Skap. Think it's time to ask, what powers are behind LeBron?
Yeah, it's a great question. That maybe the NBA itself. I mean, would it be so crazy to think that the reason none of these tests have ever come out, or the fact that he's maybe not even being tested,
right.
maybe could be because he's protected on high by the NBA, because the NBA has been coddling and protecting and advancing his case from the very moment he entered the NBA and continues to do so to this very day. I don't think it would be that crazy at all. So great question, Irinola. I don't have the answers, but I think it probably goes pretty high, and it's a pretty powerful broker indeed. Go ahead, Gary.
Irinola, I made a video specifically about this topic. I did a deep dive on it. I'm going to send a link in the chat if you want to check it out on my channel, Gary828 Sports Talk. There's a link to that video. After the live stream or sometime you get a chance, check that out. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you think.
And next and finally, our 53rd super chat in 3 hours and 11 minutes. P-Town 24. What's up, my Pittsburgh brethren? Gary, go ahead.
Hey, Skap, I didn't know you were from Pittsburgh. It's good to see Steel City shine on these YouTube streets. Love the channel also.
Thank you, P-Town 24. I appreciate you and the kind words. Of course, I always appreciate a fellow Pittsburgher, a Yinzer, if you will, getting in here and giving me a shout out. I am indeed born and raised on the Steel City streets. I lived there for a very, very large percentage of my life. I now, for the last roughly 7 years or so, have been in Florida. But I still, my mom and dad still live in Pittsburgh, in the house that I was born in and raised. They've been in that house for 50 years, just about, and I go back there a lot. I'm probably in Pittsburgh out of the year, probably 6 to 8 weeks still a year. So I'm still in Pittsburgh quite frequently, even though I'm technically a Floridian now. So many thanks to you for giving me the shout out. Gary, did you have something there?
Yeah, I have something to say. P-Town, no, put it back up, Skap. P-Town, I got something to say. Obviously, you're a big Pittsburgh fan. So why are you repping the Dallas Mavericks on your YouTube icon? I don't understand that.
Well, we don't have an NBA team, Gary.
Well, still, but he should represent the Steelers or the Penguins. He doesn't have to represent an NBA.
Well, I'm not I don't have an NBA team necessarily. I grew up
right, but I'm assuming this guy loves the Steelers. You are down on your Steelers because of, well, as we know, the questionable things that they've done over the last couple of years. And I'm just messing with him. His gear looks good. I like his photo.
I would love, by the way, Gary, I would love a Pittsburgh-based NBA team. They're talking expansion in the NBA. I would love Pittsburgh to get one. That would be awesome if I could see games with my mom when I go back home. She's a big NBA fan as well.
And he says Mavericks are his favorite team.
Okay, there you go. Right. See, Gary, I grew up a rabid, humongous Los Angeles Lakers fan.
But his channel name is P-Town. That's what P-Town 24. But he's got now. See, if he had a Mavericks something, it would make sense. I'm saying it's mismatching the P-Town name with the Mavericks image. That's what I'm getting at, and I'm just messing. He actually says Steelers are his favorite football team. So it would make more sense to be consistent with the P-Town 24. And it doesn't matter. I'm just messing with them for fun. Oh, we got Xavier back. We got a ranking, Jay. There we go. Rank these coaches: Jackson, Popovich, Riley, and Kerr.
Well, I think it will be probably an unpopular standpoint here on Phil Jackson, but I've come around to the camp of Phil Jackson was kind of overrated. I think he was a good manager of personalities, but I don't know how great of a coach. I mean, he won every championship with Jordan and Kobe, and had Shaq on some of those teams too. So, like me personally, of those names listed, I would probably put Popovich first.
I don't know about Popovich first, because look at what he's done after Duncan. And I think I'd put Rick Carlisle over Steve Kerr.
Well, but Carlisle's not on there.
That's true. But I assume
I'm just looking at these names provided.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I just thought these were probably his top. Are these your top four, Xavier, or are you just curious about these four? I'll look at you in the chat.
I would maybe Riley first. Then I don't know. Riley, Popovich, Kerr, then Jackson, or maybe Jackson, then Kerr. I don't know. These are like they've all had a lot of talent to work with.
It's kind of hard to say.
Like a Rick Carlisle's a guy that didn't have that much to work with.
I like Carlisle a lot, actually.
So yeah, I mean it's hard. These are all fairly interchangeable guys to me, and not necessarily. I'm not degrading them. Like they're all-time great coaches. They're in the top 10 all time. But they're just to me they're very tightly packed together. I'd say maybe Riley would be my top name on this list, though, just because of what Riley did in 06.
And yes, very good point. Also, another point I'd like to make is I'm going to disqualify Steve Kerr, even though I think he's a good coach. But when they lost Bogut in the 2016 finals in Game 5, Kerr had no adjustments for them. If he was a great coach, he should have found a way to win one of those games to close out that series. But people don't realize they lost their defensive anchor in Game 5. Draymond Green was suspended for only one game, and then Bogut got injured. And then that opened the floodgates in Game 6 and 7. No defensive anchor for the Cavs to run down to dominate them inside or whatever. So I don't think that gets talked about enough, because Bogut's not a great player, perennial all-star or anything, but he was their defensive anchor and he was gone. So that played a big role.
I think I would probably, maybe have Kerr last on my list, Riley first, and then the other names are kind of like interchangeable, like in the mix, I think. Xavier, as always, I love your rank questions. We've got Burka, my guy from Serbia. What is up, brother? My Serbian brother. Go ahead and read this one from our guy here.
Finally, a stream I didn't miss. When are you coming?
I'm glad. Obviously, I'm very glad to have you. And I definitely want to get my ass to Serbia. So I think I got to talk to the boss, which is my wife, and figured out she would also very much like it. So I think we might be working in the mix, percolating a little European swing, if you will. So Serbia will 100% be put into the mix, and I will definitely The next time I leave the United States of America, let me just put it this way. The next time I physically leave the U.S., Serbia will be on the list of places that I am coming. Wherever it is that I might be planning my trip to, Serbia will be on the agenda. So, and whenever I know when exactly that is, you will be the first to know. That you've got my word. We've got Deadpool 2925 back in here in the mix. Go ahead, Gary, and read this one.
Skap, in your opinion, do you think the 2012-2013 Lakers could have won championships if they were healthy?
I really did not like that team construct very much. That's the team that had Steve Nash and Dwight Howard on it, and still Pau Gasol. Gasol missed like 35 games that year, 40 games maybe. Steve Nash missed like 33 games, 32 games, something like that. And then Dwight Howard played, but he just had the back surgery in that summer and was not right physically. Then Kobe, of course, ruptured his Achilles at the end of that season. So just an ill-fated team. I really didn't love the team build anyway. Like, I didn't like the Steve Nash pairing at all. I didn't like the Mike D'Antoni hiring as the coach. It was just all wrong. I think the Lakers' opportunity to win more championships came in the vetoed. It ended in the vetoed Chris Paul deal. Speaking of him earlier, because Chris Paul should have been on that team, then there wouldn't have been Dwight Howard, or Dwight Howard probably wouldn't have been on it. Nash definitely wouldn't have been on it. And I don't think even Pau Gasol and Lamar Odom were going to be on it because they were involved in that deal. So there probably would have been some other big, maybe that year. That 1 year was a year that Andrew Bynum actually had a really good year. So maybe it would have been Chris Paul, Andrew Bynum, and Kobe Bryant. I think that team would have won the NBA championship that year. But the 2012-13 one, as it was constructed, no, I don't think, even if they had been healthy, I don't think that they were going to win a championship that season. Gary, I hate to do it, but I have to. That was the last super chat. I need to squeeze out here quickly, like a thief in the night before another one comes in, because I got to take my little buddy out to the bathroom. It's been hours. She is desperately begging me to take her on a walk. So she's not even in the room. She's just like pawing at the door and wants to go out. So we are about 3 hours and 20 minutes in. We still have nearly 500 people on here. We were at 900 some today was where we peaked out at. And we basically held in the 500s or more the whole time through nearly 3.5 hours. And 56 super chats, including a very generous amount from several of you. So I just can't thank you guys enough. I'm very thankful and grateful to have you guys on board and continually coming in and joining us in the lounge. Gary, many thanks to you, as always, for coming and spending like 3.5 hours with us. And you guys should go check out Gary 828's sports channel and subscribe to him there. Go ahead, Gary.
Gary 828 Sports Talk.
Gary 828 Sports Talk. So go check that out and subscribe there if you haven't. And guys, stay tuned. Obviously, there will be probably additional updates coming. I'm probably going to just go on live and talk about some channel updates, some different directions or paths of things I might be working on here in the upcoming days, weeks, months, possibly. So keep your eye out for that. Make sure, obviously, if you're not already subscribed here, please do that and hit notifications so you can be notified whenever I come on some random live stream at whatever 3:30 in the 2 o'clock in the afternoon on some random day. So please do make sure you do that stuff and keep your eye out for that other LeBron James, which is the whole point of this live stream, the LeBron James most recent steroid allegations. There will be an updated in-depth video coming very shortly, sometime within the next few days. So keep your eye out for all of that, guys. Is it Friday yet? No, tomorrow is Friday. So I hope all of you guys do have a great weekend when we arrive there. And please just stay tuned for more to come from me. Until next time, guys.